YouTube, you've been clamoring all summer long for a brand new, actually new plane. And we've got one for you. In fact, it's not just a new plane, it's a whole new brand. Super excited to be bringing you the first of many Kavan planes. This is the Pilatus PC-6. I didn't cut myself. I'm so excited about this new distribution in the United States, brand new. And honestly, guys, this stuff's been in Europe for a while. And so we're really excited to be partnered up with FPV
Builds.com.
FPVbuilds.com. Okay, as usual, follow the links, video description. That's how we get support. That's how you support us. That's how you support the partners that we partner with. Oh, yes, it's so beautiful.
Oh, man.
I cannot wait
Really
to see this plane. We are super excited. And by the way, I'm a sucker for Pilatus, so this is gonna be awesome. We can't wait. And these are supposed to be some of the best plug and play airplanes that you can get, okay? So these are not gonna be your run-of-the-mill, off-brand, fake Chinese garbage, okay?
Okay.
Seriously, I don't even think they're made in China. Are they?
I don't know.
Made in China, dang it.
Oh, I was going to say, the
I don't know, where is
front
it?
of the box is in a different language.
Yeah, see, that's not Chinese, guys.
Yeah, and it's not Chinese.
But seriously, what does it say here?
I don't know.
It's got all these languages.
I know.
That's definitely not
I
Chinese.
can't even find some that
I can't even find English. This is so terrible. Okay, so the wingspan is 1,500 millimeters. They do come in two color schemes, okay? So there's like a blue, a red, white, and blue like this. And then there's the red and white version, which I think that's what we got.
I think that's what we have.
Which I'm super excited now. Oh, I love the wingtip design. There's tail rudder, and yes, there are floats, but I don't know if this one comes with floats by default or if it's got fixed gear. But either way, super excited. What does it say there?
I have no idea. It says open the box and you'll find out. It's about the float set, but I don't know if that's included or not.
Yeah, I don't know if it is either. Anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna unbox this thing. It's gonna be amazing. And you're gonna find out, this is one of the reasons why you watch Brian Phillips RC, is because we're gonna try our best to be on the cutting edge of brand new arrivals to the United States. Yes, we understand that some of you guys are overseas, like in New Zealand, Australia, Europe. We'll try our best to have links if you guys wanna buy out of the country as well, okay? Do we have that right now? I don't know. We have North American distribution for this.
Yep.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this box. First of all, first impressions, box seems robust, strong. The retail packaging is thick cardboard and the regular packaging was really good, so I have no problems there. It's kind of hard to open, it's wanting to rip here. So what I'm gonna do is, I really like this. Oh, and this is officially licensed.
I could read that part.
Which means that it is actually, now they call them ARFs. But these are supposed to be more like a plug and play. So I'm gonna just share that right now. You see the ARF?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. There might be, maybe there's more steps and we don't know about it, but we've been told these are more like plug and plays, okay? Which would typically mean that you provide a receiver and a battery and you're off and going. Maybe you have to install control horns on some planes. But it's not like an ARF that we would see in the United States where it's like totally unassembled. Oh yeah, it's got landing gear in here.
Okay.
That's not, oh yes. It looks so delicious. I can't wait to get into it. Okay, so guys, if you didn't already know this, I like Pilatus. I also like whenever we can do something brand new because it's really exciting. I can't wait to be sharing this. So thank you for being here with us. We want to help support the people that support us. And so when you do decide to buy this, because you inevitably will, because it's going to be awesome, make sure you follow the link. Oh man, that's so pretty.
Yeah, it is.
We're obviously going to set it up with our NX10, okay guys? I don't even know if we're gonna have to update the firmware yet. We still haven't updated the firmware on the NX10, okay?
We will at some point.
We will at some point, we promise. The AS3X Plus. To be honest, I'm gonna tell you, since this is an Horizon video, it's for these guys, for Kavan and FPVbuilds.com. I just need to make sure I'm saying it right. I'm just gonna say this. Now, I would say this on a Horizon video too. I just would not say it at the very beginning. One of the things that they've done a bad job of is selling why I care about anything other than more channels. More channels is a big deal. That is huge. And that's a big, big deal. But why do I care about AS-X Plus, okay? The last time my brain was in motions like this, it was when they came out with the smart batteries. And I was like, what a rip-off marketing scheme. And I was wrong.
Yep.
I was wrong, because they are awesome, okay? Manual's folded, not starting off on the wrong foot. We're just gonna open it up and pretend like we didn't see that.
Okay.
Okay, so black and white manual.
I'm hoping it's English.
Hold on, I just gotta do this real quick. Normally, I would throw this across the room if it was folded.
But we might need this.
Okay. Ooh, look.
Okay, it's in English. That's good.
It's a 3-bladed prop, 10.6. Cool.
Oh, cool.
Look at that. Here's your size. That's 15.87 meters. Are you kidding me? That doesn't seem right. Is that the real one?
That
That's gotta be the real one.
can't be correct.
Okay, so look, we're gonna continue the unbox.
1,500 meters. What? So it's 1.5.
This is 1.5. Oh, that was millimeters. Okay. Was it millimeters? I thought there was just one M there.
There's just one M.
I think that's a typo, guys. All right, first things first. Get ready.
First things first, it's been 5 minutes.
Just listen. It's Brian Phillips RC video, relax. So check this out, guys.
Oh, they're like actually stuck.
It's wrapped in a bag. Okay, all right.
Yeah, just.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can't handle it anymore, sorry.
Carefully.
I'm gonna blow my load here. Careful, careful. Whoa, careful. Okay, so also I just wanted to say, wow, first of all, everything looks fine. There's a little bit of the pitting. You can kind of see those little releases, but the decals are really nice. They're like water decals. They wrap the edge. That's beautiful. Beautiful servo cover.
Color match
is
really
perfect.
good.
Really nice, clean lines. Plastic hinges embedded. Looks like they're serviceable too, which is kind of cool. And then a nice, robust, heavy-duty adapter that's gonna go down the water run. I do not like the fact that that's always in there. Oh, you know what I do like? Dang it, I thought that was an LED. It's not. It's just, what the heck? Oh, there's also a little wing thing that goes here too. Okay, so everything seems fine here. Seems pretty robust. It's got like a little bit of wiggliness. There must be a reinforcement in here, but it's gonna be hard to see with this opaque paint. This is a little bit bendy, so we'll see. That's gonna be glued, so it should be no problem. I'm assuming it's gonna be glued. All right, so continuing along. Since I haven't unboxed one of these yet, it's kind of like a different experience, okay?
It's like a Ziploc bag.
Oh yeah.
I have to keep that forever.
Here we go.
Kavan, way to go. Good job. Matches your shirt
It does?
after all these years. I'm wearing the same shirt.
Okay. So let's pull the prop out. This is a 10.6, which means 10 inches like here, or, you know, round. Oh, there we go. I'm just trying to see where it says 10.6. Oh, it doesn't. But it's got a really cool shape to it. I hope it's super efficient. It looks like it might be kind of noisy. Okay, and then the spinner and the screw. So that's gonna go on top of it at some point. This one's not a Ziploc. So I don't know if this spinner, everything feels fine. It's got a nice finish on it. Nothing special. Okay. Looks like a Phillips screw. I'd rather see a hex, but that's okay. We'll leave that for later. Oh, and then by the way, as part of the terms of doing these reviews with this company, okay, Anthony and I talked. We always talk to the potential distributors, hobby shops, all this stuff. He was just adamant. You have to give truthful reviews. You have to give your actual opinions about stuff. And I'm like, well, that should be easy because that's exactly what we always have done.
Yep.
And it's always been a caveat that if you don't let us be truthful, we're pretty much not working with you. Or you can go ahead and send the stuff and we'll just be truthful and you can fire us if you don't like it. Which has never actually happened. Nope. But we do try to be fair to people. But at the same time, it's like, hey, if they suck, they suck. Which is ironic because the other brand that they carry is Dynam. So anyway, we're gonna try a Dynam V3. I told them I would try one, okay? So we'll see how it goes. Oh man,
wow.
This is gorgeous. I'm really liking it. Super smooth. Really nice, look how perfect those things are. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of fugly, but they look perfect. Look how nice and like German machined they are. There's no way that's Chinese. That can't be Chinese.
Look, the control horns are not only installed, but they're hooked up.
And they're centered.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that, I did.
I did.
Oh yeah, look. there's a quick disconnect. Look at this.
Okay.
All right, let's pull this out. Okay, so the end number is a little weird.
It's not American.
It's not American. Look, we have this thing, okay? So that's a ribbon cable, and that is a total of, that would be like a 4S battery because there's 5 wires. I like that there's 5 wires because then if I need to replace this, since it's gonna be, if it's gonna be weird, I want it to be something I can replace, okay? Now, also, the reinforcement's gonna come from above. It's got pretty good resistance to twisting. Long, slender wings. Got this cool wingtip. It's got a little bit of thickness to it. Oh, lights. I wonder how bright they are, but look at those LEDs.
I know, they're weird.
They've got like a flat face on them.
They look like a Lego piece.
Yeah, very nice. You realize that's a...
I didn't say it was a that.
Yeah. That's a big LED. I hope it's as bright as it looks like it might be. Size matters, I've been told.
It does. I mean, no, not at all.
So, continuing along. So he said, yeah, you got to be truthful. And I'm like, well, that's not going to be a problem. We're going to be truthful. So that'll work out. So. And, you know, basically, I think anytime we meet people that are crazy like us, that are doing things to promote, expand, grow the RC hobby, the addiction, we like those people. And so Anthony's one of those people.
Yeah.
Which ironically, they run like a podcast. Like it's pretty small still. But he works with the lighter side of RC, which he has like a hand that's like messed up. I guess it was a birth thing. I don't know. I thought it was like a prop accident. And it's not. It's not. But the thing is, he wanted me to be on the podcast. So I told him, well, we'll think about it. So if you guys see me on that podcast, you'll understand. I saw Chris Wolf, RC Geek, on there, which is pretty cool. So there it is. So it looks pretty awesome. Cool. In fact, touch this, feel it. Amazing. Really very nice water decals.
Yeah, the decals are really pretty.
They did a really nice job of applying them. And I'm surprised because we see a lot of different planes. And I got to say, you know, probably one of our upper echelon would be the Horizon offerings, okay? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Maybe Hangar 9, Horizon somewhere in there. I'm not sure. I mean, the FMS stuff is all right. It's not anything crazy, but I just feel like the attention to detail so far is kind of impeccable. And you're gonna probably notice that the price is a little bit impeccable too, meaning it's high, okay? Don't be surprised, just plan on it. These are expensive because they're still being imported, okay? So welcome to what it's like to be in New Zealand and what it's like to be in UK when you're ordering a Horizon product, okay? Even though it's all coming from China over there and then over to here and then back over there, it's just goofy. This, I do not know how the distribution channels work, but I do know that we have access to the only North American distributor right now, which is pretty cool. And
well, and if they start to get more popular and people are buying them.
Horizontal tail, it's got a little bit of stiffness to it. Looks beautiful. Oh, so this one might be a pinch hinge. Yeah, it's a pinch hinge. That's a little disappointing, but whatever. It's huge though.
Yeah.
Is it reinforced with tape? I can't tell.
I can't tell on this side. I don't seem.
It's kind of hard to tell. It looks like they designed that in. So yeah, I would suggest on such a long hinge that maybe having reinforced with a little bit of glue or something would be a good idea. But I'm not going to throw any stones because I don't know if that's an issue yet. However, it's so long, I'd like to see a reinforcement in there. Anyway, this plastic looks gorgeous. It's strong. Like, touch it.
Yeah, I know.
It's painted.
Which is
beautiful. Weird. Very good color match. Absolutely no problems there. So far, really impressive. Feels good. It doesn't feel heavy yet. It just feels right, okay? And this comes out. Okay. This is like the most serviceable packaging I've ever seen in my life. It's like they've designed it to go back together. I wonder if they're expecting, you know what I don't see?
What?
I don't see floats.
No, I haven't. I doubt there are more.
Wait. No, they're not on the box. Okay, so we're not gonna have floats, and that's okay because we already know, if you haven't seen the video yet,
they haven't.
We don't need to, okay, we don't,
have seen it.
I don't wanna give anything away, but let's just say,
you don't always
floats be darned.
need floats.
If you guys are regulars and you see this comment and you remember it, please point back at it in the comments down below. Speaking of comments down below, let us know what you think of this brand, okay? We're curious. These, I think.
Oh, the wing struts.
Wing struts?
Yeah.
But I can't figure out, why do they spin?
Do they twist out?
I don't know what the heck. Oh, these are landing gear.
No, they're not.
These are landing gear things.
No.
Yes.
No.
They gotta be. These gotta be. Are they for the wings?
I think they're for the wings.
Look, they're spring loaded. Those gotta be landing gear things.
Okie dokie.
Spring loaded, but they're carbon fiber. That is so weird. And then there's a nut and bolt sack.
That's a small. Oh, there's another nut sack, isn't there?
Well, but no, listen. There's 2 tools as well, camera crew. Don't get too excited yet. If this is all the hardware, that would be awesome.
No, there's a wing joiner bag. There's got to be hardware in there too.
Yeah, there's more.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got this. It looks like those are hex drives. Good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll just leave that right there. As you guys can see, packaging really good, second to none. I would say it's just as good, if not better, than what we've had in the past from all the other major brands. The ones that matter. Rock hard tires. That's a little disappointing. I'd like to see softer, but you know what? That's not terrible. That might be softer than we think because look,
they do. It does.
they do have a little bit of
bit.
give, but it's not like soft pneumatic tires. Okay, so this is going to predominantly get its spring from the spring. Okay, but then I think these might be a detail. We'll see. I'm a little bit heartbroken about the floats thing, which is funny because I have like millions of planes downstairs with floats
That need to have floats put on them.
Haven't put on them. So if you guys are brand new to Brian Phillips RC, if you didn't know, we just finished a pond. It's probably a little too dark to see right now.
It's back there in the darkness.
But okay, so here's the
There's more.
nut and bolt sack. Doesn't look too bad for piece count. I mean, it's not nothing, but it looks pretty reasonable. Huge. Look at the bolts. Good Lord.
Wow.
They're big. And then over here we've got some servo arms. I'm guessing those might be float equipment. We'll just throw that over there.
Okay.
All right, so then we have the money shot, but we're not quite there. So let's pop out this bag of goodies. These are wing struts, I believe. Yep, they're wing struts. So guys, brand new to the channel. This is the first time we're doing this brand, and I hope I'm even saying it right. The Kavan.
I think it's Kavan.
Kavan, okay.
I think it's Kavan.
So Kavan,
I don't know.
Pilatus, PC-6 Porter. Okay.
We're from the Midwest, so we could be wrong.
Okay, check this out.
Oh.
In clips, look.
Don't lose that little.
I know,
Yeah.
that's why I was dropping it. Okay, carbon fiber,
Wow.
a little bit give, no give there. Definitely carbon fiber. Everything's glued. Like, this is definitely, holy cow, look at the thickness of the sidewall. That's like dangerous. Good Lord.
Wow.
Okay, so that's definitely gonna be the wing joiner, but
Yeah.
seems a little bit overkill, but we'll find out. All right, so here it is, guys. Oh man, that looks gorgeous.
Wow.
So excited to see this thing. I couldn't help but notice sneaking a shot in there of the place where all the wires come in.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Looks nice.
Uh-oh, don't want to lose this. Hold one hand. That was not holding. Hold it like you mean it. Thank you. All right. I didn't want to lose my hood. As you can see, the wings are going to be super easy to take on and off.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
And then we have this thing, which, okay, well.
Painted?
I thought it was, yeah, it's painted.
Oh, yep. It is.
It's got, okay, so that's going to suck the load of battery in. That's going to be really a pain in the butt. I can already tell. This is going to be hard to reach. But, look how gorgeous. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, no. Come on, man.
Don't make it worse.
I don't know what's going on with that paint. It looks like it's going to chip.
I think it was stuck. It did.
Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just not look at that spot for now.
Okay.
But so far, I gotta say, absolutely gorgeous. Love the lines. I think these are active. These are active. Yeah, those are real. That's why they're ported that way.
Yeah.
It goes all the way through.
Yeah, it does.
That's so sweet. And then the motor, which looks nice, pretty cool looking. Okay, this looks pretty straightforward on that. And then this thing is like rock solid. Whoa, the landing gear come off quick and detached style.
Oh, cool.
That's different.
Yeah.
So it looks like when you have the floats on there, you should be able to take those off. This one's got a little more pressure on it from the screw. These ones are a little bit looser, makes me a little nervous. See that one in particular.
You just tighten it, right?
Yeah, should be able to. But yeah, so real quick, as you look, you can also see the servo. Look at the service pocket for this servo.
Yeah, it's really different
It's
than
just
what we're used to.
super like ornate. And I don't know if I like that yet. You want to know why, camera crew?
Why?
Because if you have to replace the servo, that's gonna suck bad. Okay, grab the box, slide it away just a little bit. We're gonna put this here where it belongs. Now, couple of thoughts on this. First of all, I could probably put this together without instructions. But because it's the first time we're building this brand, we are gonna refer to the instructions because we don't wanna do you guys a disservice. We really don't know what we're doing on this one yet. So we are gonna check things. I just want you to see that there is a mixing board in here, but I don't really understand if that matters. But the mixing board does matter because we have to go through that board to get out to the wing. Then also comes equipped with an XT60. Looks like the newer style. So excuse me, it's called an XT60H-M. You'll still be able to cram your IC3 in there if you're using an IC3 or an EC3 style pack. By the way, this is hard, this is plastic. This is painted. In the future, if you're listening to our opinions, Kavan, I would have this lined with plastic so that you avoid that type of damage, okay? Also, this is gonna be really, like, of all the things that are beautiful on this plane, I don't like the way that that looks because that's unpainted. So again, it's like, it's little nitpicky things. It's definitely not a big deal, but we do point these things out on Brian Phillips RC because here at the end of the day, we're not just trying to pick apart planes. We're trying to help you guys understand what you're getting before you order it. And that helps in two ways. One, your expectations are set. And two, you know, if it doesn't meet your expectations, you don't have to order it. And then these small distributors that like really have everything on the line are not having to like return planes and try to resell like used, open, messed up planes, you know? So that we're actually trying to help them to a certain extent. Now, I just want to talk about this real quick before I go any further. If you guys are getting a plane, you have to take it apart. I'm just gonna see if everything slides back in the way I think it should. And I think it does. So if you decide you wanna get this plane and you know you're gonna take it apart, it looks like it's gonna be a relatively easy thing. And this is a sturdy box. I mean, you could break it if you wanted, no problem. But I like the fact that you can take it apart, okay? The only thing I'm not sure about is the tail feathers, and that's why we gotta read the manual, because if I need to use some China glue or some CA, I wanna give you guys good advice, because like in my opinion, I'd probably glue it on, but they might not ask us to do that, and for that reason, we're gonna try to read the manual. Also, I gotta say, having everything bagged up, it's nice because you can put it back in the bag if you decided you wanted to, and that would help you to keep it dry and free of dust and things like that. I mean, obviously for us, we're probably gonna tend not to do that, which is why our house is literally half full of planes.
Yeah.
Maybe if we were smart, we would take them apart, but I'm not that smart.
Then it'd just be half full of boxes of planes.
Yeah, that's true. And to be honest, the boxes are big too.
Yeah.
So we should be done with this, I hope. We've got the piece count to a pretty limited number of pieces here.
Yeah.
And also, this is gonna be a big wing, okay?
Yep.
So just remember, 1,500 millimeters is not too shabby, folks. Look at this. I just wanna show you how big this wingspan is. 1.5 meters is a respectable wingspan. That goes in there very nicely. And there is a pocket to exit out. So there's gonna be no problems getting out of it. Okay, now I'm just gonna slide this one in. I gotta say, I love the way this plane looks. I always have liked it. Pull that up, please. Thank you. The only thing would be even better is if we had a method for just plugging this all in like quick disconnect style. That would make it even easier. Are you holding?
Do you want me to? I can.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And that'll be easier over time if you have to take it apart a lot. We admittedly don't, okay? So we are in a unique circumstance, but I just want to show you how much longer the wing is than the fuse on this plane.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's why they have this wing split. So 1.5 meters is, like I said, not too shabby. It would be consistent with, in recent vintage, this is a 1.7 meter, okay? So just to give you an idea of how big that is. This is a 2 meter, right? The SWS timber?
Is a 2, yeah.
I believe that's a 1.7 on the table.
The Cessna is a 1.5.
Cessna's a 1.5, so we can just lay this on top just to show you guys a basis for comparison. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, it's actually
a little
just
bit
a hair longer, okay? So, and you know, it's not like we're trying to beat anybody up. We're not trying to beat up FMS on that plane, which by the way, that plane is excellent too.
Yeah, but that's a narrow wing.
It's a very short wing
if you're
cord.
If you're thinking about storage.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, what was that, camera crew?
Yeah, for storage, it's a narrow wing cord versus like the timber or
well,
the
it also
SWS
has to
are
do
really
with where
thick.
the supports hit.
Yes.
We've noticed that wing struts can be the bane of existence when you go to hang up planes. And like those top mounted antennas, as much as they are gorgeous on that plane, they make for a real pain in the neck storing planes. Top mounted antenna, pain in the neck. Every chance you get to leave these from being glued, top mounted antenna, factory installed, top mounted antenna, factory installed, they almost always get in the way when you're storing, and they're the first things to get broke off. So continuing with the build, we have a tail. Pretty sure that goes on before the vertical stab.
Okay.
So this is gonna go here.
Are we reading the instructions or you just
Well, I mean,
said that for fun?
I was thinking about it. But like, I'm just kind of curious how hard this is gonna be.
Because I
Guys,
just
here on
can't.
Brian Phillips RC, sometimes we do things by the book and sometimes we do them without the book. Today we're gonna do them with the book. I already told you, I promised, but then I just kept breaking my promises because it's so dang easy. I wonder what brand it is. Which way does this go?
Probably the other way.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
So you could read it from.
Like when the plane is in a hover?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the rest of those.
Okay.
But that's my guess.
Good guess, camera crew. Welcome to being a male. Assumptions.
Well,
what we live by.
I've been here a long time.
That actually fit pretty good. That was pretty awesome. Okay, so then this thing is gonna go in the back on the vertical stabilizer. Not in the rudder, because the rudder is just behind it. Now, I'm trying to decide if I want to slide this in without gluing it, because this will fit
it
in
just
there.
goes right in there.
There's a shinier side and kind of a duller side. I'm gonna put the shine, well, which way am I gonna do
I
that?
think the shiny side up.
Shiny side up? I don't know. I don't think it matters. Yeah, that's probably gonna need to be glued,
I
hun.
would think so.
But then again, if you're wanting to put this away in the box, I'm just trying to see if there's a way to do it for those people.
Put it back in the box.
A lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, if you lived on a boat or a submarine.
Randall, if you need to put yours back in the box.
Listen, if you lived on a submarine,
When you buy a submarine, please invite us over.
I can only build a runway and a helipad at one time. I can't also do a submarine. Okay, so this is top mounted. We were just talking about these like seconds ago.
Oh, the
Where do
things
they
that are
go?
going to be in the way?
Yeah, one's gonna go here. You like how I'm putting the decorations on first?
So that they're in the way for the entire build process?
Yeah, I mean,
that's perfect.
That's exactly why I was
Good
doing
plan.
it.
Where does the other one go?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
On
it's
the
on the bottom. That one actually went in without too much trouble. Huh.
There's no.
Where the heck does it, well, yeah, I don't see it. You wanna put the landing gear on since I'm like lazy and this is flipped over?
Oh, sure.
Let's do it. I wonder if it's spares. Oh, so there is a tail wheel I have to install too.
Okay.
That's kind of weird. I guess we'll see how that goes. Let's put these on. Let's see if we can figure it out. We're just regular.
Do you know how many people are going to complain in the comments they're not
Just
following
read the
directions?
manual, Brian. Hey, Brian, listen. I'm trying to make this toilet wine, man.
Hey, wait.
I don't have time to listen to you. What?
Before you talk about toilet wine, how did you know which way those went in there?
Guess.
No, I'm asking for real.
Guessing.
Oh, okay.
It actually, I don't know for certain I have it right. I'm just guessing.
Okay. Okay, well, I know that's not right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes here. But the thing is, there's a plug that goes in, and that's what makes those things manifest their bite. Oh yeah, I have it right. See,
Okay.
shows from that. Oh, there's also instructions, aren't
Well,
there?
that's a lot of reading.
Good Lord. Oh, hey, hun, could you just read me this
We're
right
back
there?
to
The
installation of... I want to to make up something closer. You're past English. Go back.
Listen, I'm not. There it is. Oh yeah, I told you. Look,
I
one,
did not tell you.
2, trace, amigos.
Okay.
Hey, listen, all I'm gonna say is, this is not rocket science unless it's a rocket, and then it is rocket science, okay?
Aerospace.
Look, watch this.
Engineering.
Watch this. This is gonna be amazing.
Oh, and then the little things clip over.
Oh, except that doesn't really fit. How
Push
in the
harder.
frick do you?
Cram it in there. Come on.
No, what I'm saying is, how in the frick do you get that thing over there? Is there like maybe, all joking aside, is there maybe like a special way of doing this? Or do you have to take that off? That'd be disgusting. Oh, wait.
That
one fits all the way around.
Okay.
See, that goes all the way down and then in, like that. But then this one, like, you telling me that's gonna go in there? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't want to damage it putting this in.
No, I agree.
Let's just see. Maybe if we just read the instructions some more, they'll answer the question. I'm pretty sure they won't.
We only have pictures though now because this is not in English. It just shows them going in there.
Look, these are spring-loaded struts. Amazing, they go down.
Oh, who was right?
Me. I just wanted to point out the fact to everybody watching that I was correct. Do you remember that one time I was correct before? It's been a long time.
It has been a while. I'm not sure. I remember.
All right, so everybody listen for a second. We're getting down to the nuts and bolts of this. I'm serious. Like, there is barely any nuts and bolts left.
There really is not very many.
This has been like a really easy build. And this is like so opposite from Dynam.
I know, I'm just confused.
Like, I'm like, how did you end up with this combination? Yeah. Okay, here it is.
Maybe Dynam has changed their ways.
So listen, our vision for Brian Phillips RC is a place where people can go to get help that they weren't getting help on before.
Just in a random squirrel-esque order.
Listen. You have to watch the whole video if you need help. If you need help, watch the video.
Yeah.
If you don't need help, watch the parts you think you need. Okay, so that's for something.
Okay.
These bolts are huge.
Yes,
Whoa.
What?
That looks like metal to me.
What?
This looks like metal. Put your hand out.
Oh, what is that?
It's like so light.
It's like silver plastic.
No way. That's aluminum.
What? Wow.
But it's like, it weighs like nothing. It's so
That's amazing.
weird. It's fool's gold, people. That is so bizarre. That is weird. How in the heck do they do that? Is it hollow?
I don't know. That's weird.
And by the way, you're gonna need like a 5mm drive to run that. I don't know what the heck we're gonna do here, camera crew.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you the way I know that I can do it, but I don't like this concept.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna grab this tool. Guys, look at this tool. This tool holster. Wow, that is beautiful.
Quality.
You know you've arrived. Oh, good. You took that thing off.
No, it must have fallen off. I actually didn't.
Man,
I was going to.
I had that free marketing for him. Oh, shucks. So look, speaking of, it's huge. I'm gonna need to go out and get my socket set to put that on. Okay, so listen, people. Stop distracting me, people.
Jeez. Okay.
Brian, get to the point. My toilet wine's about to boil over.
Ooh, if your toilet wine is boiling.
Listen. Bubble over, sorry. 3mm. Okay, so watch. This is how this is gonna, wow. She was complaining about how big it was. No, she was saying it's too small.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's very
That
very
seems
needy.
awkward.
So now look, once that's up, camera crew, use your fingernails, please. Pull that thing out, put it around. Okay, let go.
Still not enough.
Let go.
Or you gotta push the other piece down.
It's just awkward. There it goes. Got it. Now that it's there, we'll torque this down.
Okay.
Folks, on Brian Phillips RC, this is all real life, okay? We don't do this stuff for show. We don't do this because we're idiots. Wait. We don't do this because we are trying to make it over dramatic. Like, we just have never done this model before. We have no idea. Can you put the camera up on my middle finger there? Thanks. There you go. I want people to see this. It's kind of a weird thing.
It is. Sorry.
So I want you guys to be able to take our videos and point and laugh. But then at the end of the day, I really do want to help you get the builds done. So you can say, hey, that was kind of a weird step. It's not that it's especially difficult. It's just more like, that's strange.
Yeah.
5 millimeters now. I'm going way up. Up, too big. Too big. So I would say like a number 2 Phillips or a number 1.5.
Can you straighten that front one so it's pointing square?
This one's not pointing square either. Camera crew, you're gonna be the end of me. Look at this. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
That one wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was terrible. Are you kidding? There, look.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, if you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC, what we do is we build them, we unbox them, we build them, we set them up, start to finish. We don't mess around. We don't cut corners. We do everything right and above board.
I think you're on the wrong
Oh,
channel.
sorry, I was thinking of something else. But we try our best to do it start to finish so you can see all the steps, okay? There's not many places you can see every step. They're like, do you know how to put the screw in? Do you know? And then like 3 hours later, the next day it's like all bright and they had just figured out that screw because they had to like go look it up or call somebody in China and ask. Like,
Wait.
that was Chinese for where does this bolt go? If you speak Chinese and I got my dialect wrong, my apologies.
What are you
This
doing
is Brian
now?
Phillips RC where we don't make fun of the people that make all the things we
Yeah,
love.
how long did you talk to Anthony?
Yeah, I don't think you knew much about us. Okay, so look, actually, no, Anthony watched our videos.
He does.
That one time. He just obviously didn't watch them enough.
Didn't watch all the way to the end.
That's what she
Only
gets.
36 minutes in.
That's through there.
Okay.
That's through there. Guys, I'm telling you, the piece count on this makes it really easy because there's only so many ways you can do this wrong. How in the heck am I gonna stick that into there? Holy shnikes. Oh, there it is. I'll have to do it from underneath. Camera crew, go to the other side. Okay. 3 millimeters. Nope. 2.5. 2.5 millimeters. Only in Germany would they use this many different sizes. Look. Camera crew, would you grab my shaft and spin it?
Oh, hold on. Not with that hand.
Well, I want you to use your correct hand. Come on.
Is it going?
Well, I would hope so. Does it feel like it's going?
It feels like it's going.
Okay.
It's not focused. I'm sorry, people.
All right, let go. Let go. Get that thing focused. I'll finish.
Your hand is in the way.
It's okay, I'll do your job. Okay, now show the people from the other side. Do you see? Now that I'm done tightening this, as you can see, we've obviously worked this through. I remember there was this guy, and he insisted that we should just like pre-build everything so we could like figure out all the details.
Oh, he's gone. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's definitely gone. I'm sure he is. 1.5 millimeters.
We're sorry.
Yeah, sorry. That was 2,000 videos ago, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
This is 2007.
Look at this. Oh,
But
yeah.
like everything fits just.
That I had to compress the spring.
Well, I know. But it
Here, go ahead.
went in the hole.
Spin my screw.
I am not left-handed.
Sorry. Okay, let go. All right, guys. Now watch this. Eventually, this is going to splay out, and it's going to look sweet. And those actually work. Now, admittedly, I would rather see a hinged frame because I want to see those things work. It's going to look sweet. And that might give us a little bit of grace for the harder tires. Now, if you're flying from grass, you're not going to care. It's not going to be an issue. But if you fly from pavement like we do, you'll get a lot of wheel chatter on hard tires, okay? So hard tires, as you know, bite the pavement. They cause a lot of problems. If you don't fly from pavement, you won't have that problem, okay? There's a lot of people that fly from grass. That's fine. I'm not trying to discriminate against grass flyers. What? That wasn't a joke.
Do you need help?
Not this time.
Okay.
I saw what you did last time.
You got it all figured out now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So guys, thanks for bearing with me as my voice is a little bit screwed up. I had this like weird short-lived cold. So I'm all about it because short-lived is good in my book, but it's also annoying.
It. Yeah.
What?
I said thank you for not sharing it with
I
anybody.
know, and it about killed me. I really wanted to share it with you a few times. She didn't let me. So I want to show this from start to finish. This step is kind of weird. 1.5 millimeter drive. This is the top one. So this one down here is 2.5. This is 1.5. You're gonna grab your shaft, you're gonna pull it down. Preferably you're gonna have the camera crew you're gonna put your hand here and press down very gently.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna push this down, and once you get that aligned, you have to get this square, okay? Remember, when you have a hex drive, you have purchase in the direction that you're pointing the screw. So you can actually sit there and cross-thread plastic on metal, okay? So just remember, be careful, use caution. Also, as this splays up, which is not gonna do very often, this is not gonna be allowed to pivot, and that's not gonna be allowed to pivot, so something's gonna give. So my guess is, even though they have spring loaded, and it's kind of cool, like in practice, I don't think it's gonna work as good as they say. That needs to be flipped sideways so that it can splay and pivot. And then I think, honestly, this would be so sweet if they did it like the timber, where they have like a pivot point and it's just allowed to pivot. I understand exactly why they did what they did. Cost, weight, manufacturing time, labor. There's a lot of reasons why they would do it this way, but I just don't like the engineering on that, because that's gonna put stress on this point here, and it's gonna put stress on this point here, even though it's spring loaded. Because what's gonna happen is, as it bends, okay, every time that you compress this out, it's gonna wanna bend here and here, okay? Is it enough to matter? Probably not, because I don't think it's gonna bend much. That's why I'm bummed. I wanna see it bend, it's gonna look cool. Wing struts. You guys may have noticed this plane's almost built.
Why don't you put the wing on first?
Listen, I have my
We're not
reasons.
doing things the smart way.
See this? Boom.
Yep.
Now, I don't even need to put no stinking screw in there. I got clips.
Hairpins.
What?
I don't know, they look like hairpin clips.
What?
They look like hairpins.
Okay, why do you keep saying it quieter when I say what? I'm an old, deaf
You're an
person.
old man.
Any of you guys that are married, does your wife do this to you? Is it super annoying when you say what? Like, hey, listen, what is kind of like code word in man for, I did not hear what you said. Say it louder. Especially when you're sick. Although I'm kind of not really that sick. It's just my voice is hoarse because I worked inside of a plant where I had to talk to people, humans. Okay. If this was a dynam, this would never happen. It would be like 3.5 hours later.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would have already been really pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, guys. Listen. I was probably putting it in backward. Do you guys see this? It's wrapped around the front, and then it's not wrapped around the back, okay? That's how I figured that out, in case you guys were wondering. And then I'm just gonna grab this and hold it tight so that I can press this in with some force. Because when you cram it in, I wanna cram it in right, okay? I am glad I'm doing this before the wing. Hey, camera crew, would you do me a huge favor and put your hand there like the other 3 times? Thank you so much. It's much appreciated.
I'll just film and hold this.
Yeah, just do all those
Would you
things.
like me to hold your
could
pliers
Could
too?
you make dinner while
Sure.
we're doing this too?
Absolutely.
What are you making for dinner?
Salmon.
Really? That sounds delicious. Did you catch it from the streams of Capistrano?
No.
You didn't?
I'm sure it's probably from China too.
China.
Don't hate us.
What, it's from China?
I don't know.
You didn't catch it in the pond?
It says.
Do we have salmon in there yet?
Salmon? That'd be amazing.
Wow. You know, we could probably, because we have that drain pipe.
It's not cool
Listen,
enough.
they would just go up the drain.
Oh, spawn in the drain.
This thing is kind of pissing me off all of a sudden, because it's making me look like a bigger idiot than I make myself look.
I think you need to put the pin through without the little, and make sure the hole is big enough on the sides, because like the holes, these holes don't look big enough.
Okay, so let's do a quick investigation, folks. Everybody, come over here to the table. These are all identical. Do you agree? Give me a thumbs up.
Yes,
thumbs
I
up?
agree. Yep.
Yep, 2 of us agree, okay? Those are all the same. Okay, what do we not agree about? We don't agree. Okay, so I know for a fact that this is gonna fit through here. So let's just do that. I'm just gonna guide it through the same direction I'm trying to guide it through up there. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna do it without. Oh man. Get in there. Get in there. What the frick? This feels really dynamite. Wowzers.
Or that.
What the frick is going on
That's
here?
why I don't like those pins.
Well, I feel like I'm gonna stab myself, and they always.
Yeah, I know.
Trust me, I use bigger ones all the time, and the bigger ones are just as ridiculous.
No, I don't like them then.
I'm holding tight. Oh, good Lord. Because I feel like I'm just about to stab myself. What the frick? I know this is right. Oh, look at that plastic birthing out of there. I hate it when you're so right.
I'm sorry.
Quit being right. Dang. And you put it on camera for the world to see. Yeah.
That's better.
So what you're saying is you just got to ream it a couple of times.
But you got to ream that too over there.
Listen, no, I don't think that one's going to be as bad. I just think it's mostly this one because it went through the outside fine.
Did we just have this discussion about me being right?
Listen.
Goodness gracious.
Good Lord. Look at that little
That
poop.
is a lot of plastic.
Look at that poop that came out.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's not cool. Okay, so pause for a second.
I didn't actually pause this, folks.
Oh, okay. What I meant, what you guys don't realize is we've done this like over 2,000 times, okay? Not the build videos, admittedly, but we've done 2006 videos. We did not do all the videos together. There was a time when my wife made me wear a freaking helmet.
Like that time when we had a newborn?
Listen, they would have eventually figured out how to eat. Oh, so petty. But back then I had to wear a helmet and be all alone in the basement, in the dungeon. Well, that was a pretty nice basement in that house. I'm sorry. I was just thinking how terrible they were. Would you just do me a favor and hold that? See if you can.
What am I
No, hold this.
Oh, this?
Okay?
Okay.
Good Lord. And then when I watch a video online and they stick it in and it like pops right in, I'm like, geez, this is so fake. Fake liars. Okay, see what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna, no, you better not move that thing.
I'm not.
Don't move that thing.
Okay.
Don't move it.
Be careful.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh man, do I have safety glasses somewhere? I'm just kidding about that.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not actually. Well, I'm glad they did it without a tool because God forbid I had to take and run a screw for 3 seconds.
Yeah, you're not going to take that off to go to the field.
Well, yeah, you will. See, because the second, you got to really hold still. You can't move. Put your hand at the top of the lever. Come back here so they can see what I just had you do. She choked up on this. I'm like, what are you doing? You have more leverage there. Hold still. I'm just afraid I'm going to break it off of the fuse.
Yeah, I know.
All right, this is frustrating. Very frustrating. If you guys buy this plane, just remember, think of me when you're building this part and just think, darn that Brian Phillips RC, he talked me into this plane. I'm trying to make total wine. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get that guy. Let go. All right, the camera crew had an idea earlier. I have an idea now too.
Okay.
So sometimes when you have a problem like this, what you do is you take, pay attention camera crew. You take a tool that's a little bit thicker. Look at this. Zoom it in. See how much bigger this is? 1.5 millimeters, way too big, okay? But I can go down to 0.9 millimeters.
Ooh, that's like...
You know, when you cover the light whilst filming, it makes it really hard to see. So try not to cover the light. See this? Oh yeah, 1.3, that's gonna ream it. Check this out, guys. It's German. Watch this. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Is it gone? Is it gone? That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, folks. Yeah, don't you know? Look, it just popped it right out of there. Yeah, don't you know? All right, time to pull this thing. Okay, I'm gonna just, imagine if I would already had the wing on. Oh, it's totally protruding. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out. This is redonkulous, guys. Hold the fuse. Wow, I know you guys think there's no way it can be this hard. It's this hard. Like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Remember we built the Carbon Z Cub and we had like a freaking 3-hour build because of the screws?
Yeah.
That's not come out yet, but it makes me incredibly nervous that I'm gonna break it. I do not wanna break this plane over such a stupid detail. I'm like really annoyed right now. I'm gonna ream this open. This is stupid. Okay, I just reamed that open. Guess what? I'm gonna ream this side too. I don't care if the clips are a little bit loosier or goosier. Now that thing is loose. Dang it.
Yeah. But.
Just hold on.
Okay.
I wanna see how this is mounted. Guys, it's time to take one for the team. Oh. Does this smell?
Oh. Yeah. Ew, it smells weird.
What does it smell like? Like chemicals?
It's like a rubbery.
My concern
It does
is.
smell like China glue.
I know. It looks like that silicone crap that they use to mount.
Oh.
That they use to mount receivers in Spectrum receivers in the bind and fly planes. I don't think it's fully cured. So if I leave it,
Then it might.
I just don't know if I can put China glue on top of it.
I know.
Because I want to just re-China glue it and be done with it.
That does not smell like China glue. Not at all.
Okay, now that I reamed it, guys, that means this should go pretty easy. Okay? Everybody in agreement? Everybody give us thumbs up. Oh my goodness. I can't even get the camera crew to agree with me. Seriously, this is just frustrating. And to be honest, a beautiful plane, really easy build. Hold that down, please. Right here, hold there. You see that? Guys, show the people so that they understand why I'm correcting you. This is not where you wanna hold. You wanna hold over the support, because then you don't damage the plane when you press down. If you have a helper hold and they hold here, it's gonna damage the plane. Like you'll end up pressing too hard and damaging something. Okay, so I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to be rough or rude or whatever. Just hold it exactly right and don't make any mistakes ever.
Okay, got it.
Okay, just
Perfect.
wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
Yep.
That is ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna, you'll notice I'm going the backward way now.
I did notice that.
Good Lord. Oh yeah, see, we must have been doing something wrong because it's right through now.
Well, you reamed out all the holes.
You guys see that? That was
ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay, I don't care what brand, I don't care if it's a new relationship, that was not okay. But you know what is okay? I can ream it out now.
Yep. That's what you're gonna have to
So
do.
listen, when you're reaming out, I'm just gonna tell you my suggestion. You can do it however you want. My suggestion would be ream this first, so you're gonna get where you can see, and then what you can do is you can open this up a little bit more, which this 1.3 millimeter size seems to be pretty good. I would suggest putting something in there to support it as you're reaming so that you don't break this. So I'm gonna put that in there. God, it's just so awkward. There's like no good way to stand to do this step.
You want to spin the whole thing around?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I don't want to have to do this.
Well,
I think
ship
it's
it
a fool's errand. But these wing struts are like probably necessary, and that's what makes me nervous about that glue.
I think you have to put that pin all the way through those.
I just reamed the tip.
Oh,
with
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take and hold this back here where there's not teeth, so I don't mar the finish. Because if you mar the finish, you might make a weak point where it's going to crack. But that's under extreme stress. Okay, so that was actually quite a bit easier.
That one didn't seem to have as much plastic.
That's because I reamed it. That one I didn't ream. You see what happened?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So now watch this. Now I'm gonna take the master reamer.
Whoa.
Okay, I reamed it, and I reamed it. Okay, guys, listen. We don't beat up products that don't have problems like this.
Right.
This is an awesome plane so far. I'm really disappointed in that because that's not an issue that should have happened. Should you not buy the plane over something so minor? Are you kidding me? Carbon.
Yeah. Just
Carbon
don't
Z
buy
Cub
a
downstairs.
plane.
That's a Carbon Z T28. One of my favorite planes of all time. Has some of the worst screws you have ever used.
Ever.
They come pre-stripped and they're sort of like in a between size that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Did you like how I keep turning this away so you can't see it?
Yeah.
Now you block my light.
But
Move
I
over
have
here.
to be able. Do I have to hold?
Just stay behind me. Because then, when I say words that aren't allowed on TV, you won't have to put that little box around my face. Oh, it's through.
You are wearing a mic though.
Oh, well, that's okay. I'll try not to say it out loud. I'll just mouth it.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Some idiot mounted this first. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. Did they really give us a spare?
I don't know.
Kind of looks like it. So now I'm assuming they probably do want us to glue those in. And that's fine. We will at some point, but I got to ream the holes first. Oh, good Lord, it's popping free.
Pull it out, yeah.
Free Willy, it says. Okay, folks, I am really disappointed in that step. Now, the other thing you could do, I just had this is kind of a crazy idea. You know what you could use instead of a screwdriver?
A paper clip?
Drill bit.
Oh. You could, and that might not be a bad idea.
But you could just hold the drill bit with your fingertips because you're not going to get a chuck in there on your drill gun.
No.
You know, if you have one of those bendy chucks, you might be able to, but even that's going to be thick. So that's why I'm saying this is why I picked this. It's not because I totally didn't think of that.
Till just now.
Back me up here on. So look, same thing here. I'm not messing around. This better not break. I'm going to be so pissed. Okay. It's going. This one's actually quite a bit easier because I can, you see how much material pops through? Mm-hmm. It's just a weird circumstance. Like, we're not used to having them. I think what happens is a lot of times, and this must be German built, because they're the type that would make a tolerance that tight for no apparent reason. But then they would also let us know that we were wrong.
Oh, they'll let us know.
Yeah, they do. Usually.
Don't you worry.
The Germans?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in the comments?
Yeah, they'll let us know if we're wrong.
Thank you. Thank you, Germans. We have a worldwide audience on Brian Phillips RC, believe it or not. That's right. There's a lot of people that are imprisoned all over the world that have 2.5 hours to watch an Unbox build radio setup.
We met Germans at Jonal.
We did. That's right. What's his name? He ran through a puddle.
Patrick.
Patrick.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And then Patrick practically crashed his car trying to stop to talk to us. It was hilarious because they had a lot of rain right before.
Nice. Oh, it was terrible. So muddy.
Yeah. And then he was hanging out with the guys from the show. And they ran the Jets and Props event. Mm-hmm. Or he was involved in the planning of it. They had invited us to go out to there, and it's just kind of like, man, I don't know. Going to Germany for 2 weeks would be super cool, but I don't know, that's a lot of money to go to Germany.
Yeah.
And I like Wiener Schnitzel, but...
Hey, are you putting that other wing thing on before you put the wing on?
I was just moving this.
Okay.
So I could lay it there instead.
So it could be more in the way?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Great.
Yeah. Okay, so now, this one is going to go better, and it's not going to be frustrating at all. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ready, go. Don't be frustrating.
Do you mean hold the plane?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
Without.
I'm gonna try without.
Okay.
So guys, if you're brand new to the hobby, this is Brian Phillips RC speaking. My wife is a camera crew. She's wonderful. She puts up with my BS all the time. Not just while we're filming, believe it or not.
No, it's always like this.
Well, it's maybe not quite this bad all the time.
I thought you were going to say not quite this good.
Sometimes, well, I was going to say sometimes it's better. But yeah, if you're brand new to the channel, you want to support us, buy stuff from the links, the best way you can do it. Then you support the channel, or you support the companies. See how freaking easy that was?
Much better.
Much better. Okay. So what I was going to say is you can support us in a bunch of different ways. The first of which, and the most obvious, is when you see a plane you like, a helicopter, a quad, a VTOL, a leaf blower, weed whacker, tractor, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Just buy it from the links in the video description below. That does two things. A, keeps you in the hobby. B, you pay no extra. C, you get discount coupon codes, whatever it is. You just go there following our links so that they know that we sent you there, okay? When you decide to buy a product, then they use the cookies from the website and they know, hey, we'll send these guys a few bucks. Okay, that's how that works. It's not supposed to be a trick. We don't lie to people. We're very truthful people, in fact, to a fault.
Obviously.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we want you guys to have good information that's actionable that you can take home and take to the bank. Yep, 2 screws, there's a spare. Amazing, okay? Oh, son of a biscuit. We can't put the wing on yet.
No, I have to put the receiver
We have to put the receiver. How the frick are we supposed to do that? Okay, let's plug in this tail. Let's get the tail installed.
Okay.
I think we have to glue this. Do you want to look at the instructions and tell me? I was going to try to put that wing on.
I don't really think there's a... Yes, glue.
They want us to glue the tail on? Puke. Okay, China. China, I have a job for you. Don't you dare cheat me, China.
Oh, hey, look, the other antenna goes actually on the top of the wing.
Of the wing?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so yes, glue.
China glue. It's right here. That's what we're using. You can also use foam to foam. You can also use CA. I really don't care what you use as long as it holds, but I'm gonna tell you this. I build a lot of planes. This is just what's in my living room, okay? There's about 10 times that downstairs, maybe more. Foam to foam is made in the European Union. It's got like all safety warnings. Thank God it's here so that you can use it for this too. Don't breathe it in. Don't eat it. It's not toothpaste. Yeah.
Yes. All those things. Flammable, probably.
Flammable, deadly. You'll probably cause cancer.
Gives you heartburn.
It'll definitely give you heartburn if you eat it, okay? So as you can see, these are about the same size, about the same cost. These are like 10, 12 bucks. These are like 8, 10 bucks. I don't know. When you buy something from FMS, get some. When you buy something from Horizon, get some.
Yeah.
Just every once in a while, put it in your order so you don't have to pay special shipping. And then also, I say that because if they offer something, we want you to buy it there just to help support these people. But either way, you know, we have partnerships with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
Okay. So now listen, this is going to go in here and I don't want to get glue all over it. So how do we do that? That means we're going to glue one, we're going to glue the center and we're going to slide it through and that's where it's going to be.
Okay.
Period. Okay. So that means we can't slide it in from the other side. We got to slide it in from one side.
Don't do it wrong.
That's right.
Okay.
China, I'm depending on you. Don't burn me. Listen, China, behave yourself. So we got a little bit.
That was a lot.
So I put it on.
Make a mess.
So now listen. Camera crew's trying to distract me again. So watch this. I'm going to spread this out just like that. China, that's perfect. Good job. You're not fired yet. Here it is. Okay? So now normally I would put that on both sides because this is a contact cement. Okay? Contact adhesive. If you use CA, it'd be a lot easier. But we don't do the easiest way.
No.
We do the longest and hardest, like all online videos.
Yes.
Sticking it in. Here it is. Relax, camera crew. Wasn't that funny?
I didn't say anything.
So now I'm going to hold this and I'm just going to wiggle it. Just wriggle it. Now I can't take it out. I'm just going to wriggle it, says Bear Grylls. Don't be so disorientated.
What happened to Bear Grylls?
Bear Grylls? I don't know. He stopped making TV shows for 5 minutes.
Oh.
It's actually just, he's taking a nap. He'll be back.
In the sheeping bag?
In the sheeping bag, that's right. If you guys don't know who Bear Grylls is, welcome to planet Earth. It's great here. Okay, so we can glue this next. We have a cable down here. We have to land.
Do we not have to do anything to the bottom?
Yes, we do.
Oh.
Yes, we do.
The other bolt goes in from the
Oh, yeah. The other extremely light, but yet metallic bolt.
But it goes in after.
Do you have to glue it?
It says there's a glue drip here.
Hold on a second now. This is what I'm confused about.
What?
When I put that tail in, okay, which is currently curing. By the way, China glue, okay, seriously, no joke, couple minutes, it's gonna be set, okay? But I'm still gonna be careful because I don't want that to be out of alignment.
Askew.
I don't know. Look in there and see if you can see that wire. There's a wire I have to plug this into, an extension cord of sorts.
No. Where is it?
Exactly.
Oh, it's right there. You need some forceps.
Forceps?
Yeah.
Okay, forceps coming up. Bent tip forceps. Guys, listen, if you don't have forceps in your kitchen, you're doing it wrong.
Make them feel bad.
It was supposed to be a joke. I also have sockets in my kitchen. Okay?
Yeah.
And wrenches.
I also have planes in my living room and my dining room and my entryway.
What are you talking about, Megan? This is the one for the, this is for the elevator.
Then.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So now we got these stupid things on that took us 7.5 hours to figure out how to get in. And then I got my camera crew telling me something totally untrue. You're gonna have to make it up to me.
Where?
Oh yeah. Maybe it's in
See
there.
it?
I don't know. I hope so.
Hold the plane and shake it.
No, I'm not doing that crap. Is something moving? Can you look up in there?
No.
I see some tape that's supposed to have held something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know.
I don't see anything. Oh, there. Something moved.
Okay, whatever.
Yes.
I'm just pulling this out.
It's the... Yeah, that's moving. You're pulling.
Is it going to come out?
No,
Excuse
it's
me?
the bottom one of those two.
Oh, crap. So is that the other one? Son of a biscuit lover. So guys, do you want to know what's happened? I really had hoped I wouldn't have to. You know what I'm going to do? I'm wondering if I could just like hold these together with like a rubber band or something.
Temporarily.
I really don't want to take them back off. It was such a pain to get them on there.
What are you going to have to do?
What do you mean? What am I going to have to do?
No. Okay.
I'm going to have to undo this, guys. I know. Cry with me.
Oh, man.
I know. I feel the same way.
Well, we've got them reamed, so it should be easy.
I feel like such a moron because we're going to put the wing on. That's where you have to put your receiver, folks. They should, and admittedly, they should be considerably easier the second time. I mean, these were definitely virgin parts. Camera crew, hold that, please. Just hold it, support it. Like imagine your father using the table saw and you're helping him.
Yeah.
Megan, you're moving it. You're moving it. Pull it back. There you go. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, deja vu. I don't think Anthony wanted us to be this honest.
That one is really tight. That one's way tighter than the other side.
It's ridiculous, actually. This is just dumb. It's a dumb problem to have. If I'm going to have a problem with a plane, I want it to be like I crash it into a tiller at like 100 miles an hour. Which, yes, I have done that. And it was a Viper 90.
It was. That
The
was
tiller one.
a bad day.
It's all right. It wasn't like super embarrassing. They hadn't spent $1,000 to ship it to me.
No.
Oh, except they did.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So the reason I did that is because look where the rudder cable is. Could you just point at it, please?
The bottom one down there?
Yeah. That, my dear, is the rudder cable that's supposed to be at the back half of the plane. How do I know this?
Oh, it is right there.
I told you. Okay. So there's two ways. We could just leave this out,
Yes.
but we're not going to do that. Because that would be ludicrous.
That would be...
And not in a cool, like, rich rapper kind of way. It would be ludicrous as in ludicrous. Okay, so watch this. I'm just going to see if I can get this. What is Ludacris's real name? Is it like Chris something?
I think it's Chris, yeah.
Why the heck do you know that?
I don't know, because I've been married to you
Look,
for a long time.
watch this. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to work this down into the opening until I can definitely see it. Now, there are more than one way to skin a cat. The reason I'm trying the easy way is because what the heck do you have to lose?
Right.
If this doesn't work, you can always do the much more hard and time-consuming methods, and those would consist of finding something long and skinny to cram in there. And let me tell you something. I've done it before. It does not necessarily create a better outcome because I've done this also a million times before. This is slick, okay? There's a million ways to skin a cat, folks. Don't make fun of me too much. Does this come off? I feel like that thing comes off. That's bizarre. Does it?
No.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, you can take it off. I don't think you're supposed to. That's like the cow.
Yeah.
So that's pretty sweet. Camera crew.
Yeah.
I actually see it.
Do you?
Show the people.
Okay.
Show the people.
Hold on.
Everybody that thought I couldn't do it, there it is.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, the reason I took those wing struts off is because I probably would have broke them doing that. And now all I have to do is just reach all the way into the midst of this plane and see if I can grab it, which is still going to be quite a difficult thing to do because even with these forceps, I can't open them up at this. So I got to get it down one more step. This is where you want to check your headspace and make sure you don't like whack into a giant hanging ball.
The hanging balls are over here. And over there.
Sorry about the sniffles. It's not really a sniffle. Son of a biscuit lover. I think I made it worse. Wait, no I didn't. It's all the way at the bottom now. Holy cow, look. It's right there. I don't even need no stinking forceps. I can use my reamer. Okay, so everybody understand that?
Okay.
Now let's look up front and just see where it comes from. See, it says Rud. Rud, as in Ashley Judd, except with an R. Is that the way you would have articulated that?
Sure.
The most stupidest possible way?
Yeah.
I think it might have something to do with the rudder. Could be mistaken. By the way, Brian Phillips, RC here. If you're brand new to the channel, you're probably just coming back to the hobby. Don't worry, they're not all this way.
And this one shouldn't be this way. This is like silly things.
Well, just so you know, that wire was taped at one point, and there was an epic failure. The reason I'm being so careful about this is because I'm gonna glue this thing on.
Right.
And then one pause point. We are going to be China gluing this. China. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's put some China glue in there. Okay. Now that we know we don't have to like throw this in the air or something stupid.
Okay.
Until we're ready to fly. Watch the China glue. Okay, look. China. China. You have to say that too or it doesn't work. China.
That's so much glue.
Listen, that's really not that much glue. Camera crew, come on. You're killing me. You're killing me here. China. Okay, you have to say that. You guys think I'm joking? Try it without. All right, so you'll notice that oh geez. That's what happens when you put China glue on stuff. It sticks like vehemently. Took the paint off, awesome. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say is, obviously I do not unpaint surfaces. I don't care enough, it doesn't matter. I've done it hundreds of times. Hundreds, conservatively hundreds of times. Okay, let that tack up, which means I don't wanna screw up this, and so I'm gonna stick it right here, where the sun don't shine, between these cheeks.
Careful.
It's awkward. Okay, now watch. China, China, China. And then over here, China. So you guys see how that works? Now, if you guys think I'm being a real smart aleck about China glue and it's, no called no China glue. Actually it is. Even in China, they call it China glue. That's what the Chinese people told me. I didn't come up with that on my own. It's not like, hey, that virus started in China, so I'm gonna call it a China virus. That's not what happened. What happened was, I talked to a Chinese person and they said, oh yeah, you're talking about China glue? Yeah, that's what we use. Okay. That's really how it went. That's the whole story.
That's the shortest Brian Phillips RC. Wait, how do you...
Just stick it in the hole.
Know how to plug that in?
The white goes to the white. No. Like this. You can make me do it with no hands. Look at this, guys.
What?
I'm gonna do it with 2 fingers, because the camera crew, she's focusing the camera. Now, there's 2 ways to know this is right. One, you can just guess and check, which is what I've done. Or you can, for the second time, hold this please. You can unbury this servo connector. And you can say, yep, white goes to white. Weird how that works. White goes to white.
I could not see the white out
Now, I'm gonna do this smarter this time, okay? Remember how there's cables? They go to the front. Mm-hmm. Camera crew is gonna step to her left. I'm gonna take these 2 cables now that we have them attached. I'm gonna grab my forceps. Definitely not gonna bump any equipment on the way over. Okay. Hey, camera crew?
Yeah.
I just wanna pull the, stop moving that. Oh. Stop moving that.
You're pulling.
I know, stop moving it. Like I'm trying to pull against it. There we go. Now I've got this one going. The whole purpose of what I was doing was trying to get this one down. Why do I care? Because I want to pull that slack toward the front. And then I want to take and I want to pull this slack toward the front, but not all the way in. Now I can do this without the forceps when I'm in a moment of duress. Duress. So this needs to go on. Now, it's not supposed to be glued?
No.
You're certain of it?
No.
What do you mean no?
No, I'm not certain.
Why?
Do you want me to look at the directions real quick?
Yeah, because if I have to glue that, I'd like to know. They really...
You put it on there and you put the thing on there. There's no glue drip. There's a glue drip here, but there's no glue drip there.
Okay, well, okay. All right, fine. So this goes through here, as you can see. It's gonna eventually go through. Just trying to keep the China glue off everything. This goes through there. Wait, what the heck? Oh, that's gonna be screwed in. This just passes through here.
Yes.
Like that, right? Correct?
Yes.
Now look, hey, see this? You're fine, just look. See this? Now I can pull this down. Is there like a singular hole I have to pass through? I feel like it's obstructed. Oh, there it is. It's actually quite a small hole.
Oh, it is.
You see it? What is with these German and small holes? They must have like an obsession with small holes. They like them tight.
I guess.
Okay, there it is. So now I'm pulling that through. Now I'm gonna take my forceps. Guys, you really need forceps for this. Ready? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, get in the hole. Get in the hole. Whew, good job. Now, that glue is set up a little bit more than I was hoping for. If you ever get to the point where it won't slip in the hole because it's like set up too much and for real set up too much, you can actually apply more of the glue and it will slip in. It's like soft rubber cement. Then when it sets up, it's very tacky. Like Brian Phillips RC jokes. Okay? Now the other thing is, oh God. You see this? You can lick it if you want to. I'm not joking.
Don't do that.
Listen, you can lick it if you want. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm saying you can. You see how I pushed one edge? Okay? See, I pushed one edge. I don't want a bunch of red all over this.
No,
it's gonna look like crap.
I agree.
So, I'm very careful about this stuff, guys. It doesn't look it on camera. Oh yeah. But you've seen a million guys at the flight field show up with a plane that looks like it's been crashed 7 times. It's brand new. Mine don't look that way when they're brand new. They look like that after I crashed them 7 times. Mm-hmm. Man, that is a tight squeeze. Like, you probably don't even need to glue it. There's no retention otherwise, though.
No.
I'm just afraid this paint's gonna chip off. Come on, man, get in there. Oh yeah, use the old man voice.
So close.
Oh, good Lord. There it is. I just hate it because like I don't want to crush this. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like spread out. You see how I've got my whole palm on there? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's in. Whoa, wow.
Man.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just walking away for a second, so don't break anything. This is a beautiful plane. I'm a little annoyed about 2 steps so far. It's nothing like Dynamo.
Right.
This is still this is like good problems.
Yes.
When you have a tight fit between plastic or between foam and foam, that's fine. But when you have a tight fit with a hole that's supposed to line up like this, except it lines up like this and this, that's a Dynamo problem.
Yeah. And to be honest, like their servo wire shouldn't be.
This is no problem. That was actually really easy.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad. It's just, you know, hey, listen, if you use CA, it's going to be dry by the time you put it together. Okay? I need to put a screw in.
Yes, we do.
Listen, they're saying I have to stick it in.
How?
That is redonkulous.
But you don't have a driver that's that big.
Yes, I do. I just don't have it in the kitchen drawer.
Yes, you do. You have the keychain of.
Hey, just show the people. Yes, I do.
That size.
These are standard though. I'm pretty sure I can use 3/16. Yeah, they're probably like, oh yeah, it is 3/16. Because yeah, over in the European Union they use
They definitely
imperial
use
measurement.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what imperial is? It's not metric.
I know.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you knew that. You guys see that? That is incredible. I'm like putting a lot of torque on that. Okay, so then this is gonna spin when the rudder moves. This is gonna move when the elevator, I mean, gotta say, it's together almost. Okay, scooch that way. So we have to do the tail wheel too.
I was just gonna say, where does the tail wheel goes?
The tail wheel goes here.
Oh, okay, good.
It goes through like that. And then look, this thing goes on here. Guys, I don't even need no stinking instructions because I've built so many of these stinking planes that the Chinese ask me to write the manuals.
They should.
Yeah, because they don't.
We would be happy to help.
No, we wouldn't. That would be the worst job ever.
It would be hilarious.
That's probably why nobody does it.
Yeah.
That is kind of a joke, guys. Forgive me. 1.5 millimeters, baby. Yeah. So what's going to happen is I have to make sure that this goes the same way. Okay, so I'm just thinking, oh, geez. See, I can't get in that direction. So this has to be over here. Okay, it has to be. Because otherwise you're into the body of the aircraft. Oh, by the way, you can use the provided tool if you want, but I'm just like lazy. I'm not going to do that. Okay, brass on steel. That's nice. Okay, then this is reamed out in the middle. Excuse me, it's not. So I want the maximum output. That's going to go to the maximum output, and it's going to steer this. And it's going to, like, when that pivots forward, it's going to pivot forward. So it's going to just actuate however the rudder moves. The rudder's currently like hooked up to a servo though, so I can't really, I just need to make it square. So this is going to go underneath. So I got to slide this thing through, of course. I'm going to put it like this. Why? So that I can get to that. Oh, so I'm going to slide it through like that. See, camera crew, isn't that what you were saying I should do? Yeah? Yeah?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I have not looked at the manual, full disclosure. Except for that one time that we were trying to see the other thing. 1.5 millimeters grub screw. So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we try to build these planes in such a way that you can follow along. And if you need help, you're not going to feel like an idiot because trust me, I do for you. And if you do need help, seriously, there are a lot of resources online. You don't have to necessarily just get it from us. So, but we're happy to help where we can, you know. If you're in the echelon of pilot that is newer or returning to the hobby, you're exactly our target audience. We want to help get people back into the hobby, and we want to help people start into the hobby with the right plane for the right reasons at the right time from the right manufacturer. And you get to make the decision if you like the plane or not. It's not even up to us, but we're going to warn you away from making bad decisions that are going to make you into what we call one and dones. One and done is a person who starts flying with the wrong plane and ends flying on that said very plane, and then you end up not being part of our amazing, fulfilling, super cheap, definitely not devastating to your time schedule hobby.
Yes.
Addiction. Hobby.
Hobby.
Okay. Okay, there we go. So that was just full disclosure, 1.5 millimeters. Okay. So now when the rudder moves, this will move.
Okay.
Pretty awesome.
Okay.
Okay, excuse me. All right, so now we'll flip it over. Looks pretty sweet. I gotta say, I love the way the plane looks. Yeah. Amazing, huge, beautiful. Looks amazing. I hope it flies half as good. It feels pretty dang light on its feet, which is awesome. So we're excited to see how this is gonna work. Feels like it tracks pretty straight too. And this is what I was talking about. Like when you push on this, it's gonna move, but it's gonna bend that every time. You see that? Okay, same thing over here. Now you're gonna get a little bit of splaying and that's sweet looking, but I just wish that this had a ball link on it. And I wish that had a ball link, or at least one of them had a ball link, because then that would allow to relieve the pressure of that change so you don't break stuff. Also, this is for the elevator. We have not installed that because we don't care yet.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and put on the prop A.
Sure.
Oh, yes, there is an ESC in here. And yes, there is a brushless motor. Yeah, I don't know what the heck they're talking about, this whole ARF business.
Yeah.
It's definitely not an ARF. This is what we would consider to be a plug and play or plug and fly. And so our next stage is gonna be a little bit out of order once we get this prop on. We're gonna install the prop, we're gonna put the spinner on, we're gonna mount the antenna Are we?
We're gonna glue the one.
How about we don't glue the antennas just because like we're gonna have to flip this over and back a couple of times.
Okay.
Also, I just want a full disclosure. I probably should have checked this on that red thing. This has a cutting protection on it, almost certainly. I think you have to peel that off.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't on the red thing. If you took an X-Acto knife, I bet that would peel. Nope, it's not peeling.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it probably would though. Let's try with an X-Acto knife, folks. This is why we do videos, so that you guys can learn from our screw-ups and then you can act upon it on your own plane. Okay, so you see this on the edge? Watch this. When I do it, just a really small scrape, is there any plastic that comes up? This is kind of a rough cut, by the way, I gotta say. I'm looking for a clear plastic film. Are you seeing it? Mm-mm. Oh, by the way, here's another thing you can do when your wife's not looking. Mm-hmm. Just on your granite countertops, just rough the edge, and that'll smooth it over. Because this is a pretty rough cut, okay?
You can do whatever you want to the bottom of the countertop.
Really? Anything I want?
I guess.
It's kind of weird.
It's kind of up to you.
What kind of weirdo are you? Jeez. Okay, so the other thing you can do is you can take a lighter and you can try to melt the edge.
Oh, that's gonna make it ugly colored.
Brown? Were you gonna say brown? Like you backed off of that, like you were afraid you were gonna have somebody accuse you of
No,
being
like melting. I don't know what I was gonna say.
weird. Okay, so all right, now that we got that done.
Okay, well, you're putting the prop on, right?
Yeah, we're putting the prop on. Oh, I just came from the tool cabinet.
What do you need? A crescent wrench.
Ah, good Lord. Okay, so I just wanted to point something out that's quite hilarious. The hardware for the airplane's wing is the same as the prop shaft. How often do you see that? Now, the thread count is the same. Are you freaking kidding me? Ah, it is the same. What the heck? Okay, I'll take it. It's hilarious. So here's what I'm gonna say about this so far. Kavan seems to be pretty nice. Mm-hmm. Except for the clips. Which
But we don't like clips ever.
No.
But that was pretty bad.
That was like terrible. Okay, yes, I do need the thing, you know.
Do you want me to go get it?
Yeah, go get it.
What is that attaching to?
What do you mean, what is that attaching to? The spinner?
Yeah.
The spinner is attaching to the thing that I was just threading the...
There's no like backer plate?
Right there. No, why do you need a... I don't need no stinking backer plates.
Okay.
We have a lot of planes that are like that, camera crew. What are you talking about? EC-1500, one example, right off the top of my head. Ow! Laceration! Do you guys remember at the beginning of the video when I about cut my hand off?
Yeah.
Do you guys realize I dropped the utility knife and I caught it? Like almost by the blade?
Yeah, you're not supposed to catch a falling knife.
Oh, I haven't cut myself on camera for like so many
Did you
moons.
take culinary arts?
No, I didn't, but you taught it. What else did you teach?
All the things. Child development, interior design, family living.
What else?
Financial literacy.
What else?
Culinary arts.
So who cooks in our house?
Mainly me. And sometimes you.
And our kids.
The kids. Mainly the kids.
Okay. All right. So you guys didn't know that about the camera crew. That's why you watch these long-winded videos, because every once in a while the truth slips out. I just say that facetiously. We are very truthful on this channel. It's just a hilarious joke.
Well, if you watch an hour and 28 minutes, sometimes you get a little extra.
Really? Where's my extra?
All right.
Look at this. Toy like a toiga.
Okay.
That is a pretty nice look, but I must say the tightness.
I feel like it's gappy.
The thing I don't get, no, it's probably supposed to be gappy because then you can suck air in there and go through these things.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Do you want to have any other complaints that I can shoot down? Okay, guys, so the plane is basically built now, right?
You've said that like 4 times.
Looks amazing. It's gonna fly great. It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be huge, okay? All those things, but you don't have to take my word for it. You already saw the Unbox build radio setup about halfway through. You're probably looking for the flight and you're thinking, where the heck is a flight? I don't wanna see a 3-hour video of you making jokes about how hilarious your wife is. No, I get it. The maiden flight is a different video.
Yeah,
it's already available right now. All you have to do is just click on that video instead. So when you see the recommendations and it looks like the same picture, we do that on purpose so that you guys can make a decision and see what you want to see. Okay? We're not trying to trick anybody.
Nope.
Okay?
Now you're gonna put those in?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Okay?
Yeah, no. Great.
I'm not gonna put any of this in. Just full disclosure, here's the pieces that need to go still over here.
Okay.
They're lined up next to the China glue. Right?
Okay.
And I don't want to confuse anybody because ordinarily we would finish the build before we do radio setup. But in this case, we're not doing it that way. And here's why. There's more pieces here too. Here's why. Because we have to get into the wing to do the rest of the radio setup, which means, you know, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which one?
The chicken.
Wrong.
No. Not wrong.
I didn't tell you what was right. I'm just saying wrong. So what we have to do now is we have to make a decision. How many channels do we need? What type of receiver are we gonna use? I think you probably already know we're gonna use a Spectrum receiver because we talked about using the NX10, okay? Now, if I was gonna fly this like some sort of a crazy 3D pilot, I'm not saying that you can't do that with this. I have no clue if you can or can't. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fly it like a scale plane. That's my objective. So I need at least flaps. Notice that's the first thing I list, even though it's not a primary flight control surface.
Yeah.
I need flaps. I'm gonna need ailerons, okay?
That'd be good.
I'm gonna need an elevator, a rudder, and a throttle.
Yep.
I'm gonna need a mode, but it doesn't have to be pluggable,
Right.
okay? Did I already have rudder?
Yep.
So basically, rudder, elevator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need a minimum of 5 channels, which would generally be a 6-channel receiver, okay? So you can have a 6-channel receiver that would give you a spare channel still. So you can do an AR631, you could do an AR630, you could do a 637T, depends on if you want to have telemetry feedback. It is nice to have PAC feedback. Now also, keep in mind, with new AR631, 630, 637T, or 637TAs if you factory reset, you can update the firmware to support AS3X Plus if you'd like. I still don't know if I'm gonna do that because I'm not separating out the steerable tailwheel because there's no way to do it. It's physically attached together. AS3X Plus for me is going to be a function of, do I want a separate steering circuit for the steering wheel because I'm gonna attach a higher gain level to that channel than I am to the rudder, okay? That's what I'm gonna use the AS3X Plus for. Beyond that, I still have not been sold. I'll try to sell you guys when I figure out what's good. But for now, it's about additional channels is really all I care about, okay? So in that case, I'm gonna go into this dark room here and I'm gonna grab the thing, you know the thing, camera crew.
Oh, really?
You wanna do a 637T or do you wanna do a 631 or do you wanna do a 630? I would suggest we don't need
Probably a 631.
an 8360T. Now,
No, definitely not.
listen, I just wanted to tell you one other thing. We have an extra channel. So we could set up flaperons, and here's how I know. Because right here we have, this is flaps. This is, look at this. There's 2 cables, that's ESC, there's rudder, there's elevator, there's ailerons. So your breakout board, you would have to do a little bit of effort to actually redo the wiring so that you would be able to split the signal. So guess what I'm not gonna do?
Flaperons.
Exactly. Because I don't wanna do that. Now I'm not saying you can't do that, I'm just saying I'm not gonna do that. So if you wanna hook up all these wires individually, it's totally fine. But I think, what do you think? I'm just torn, 631 or 637T. If we do a 637T, you're talking a little bit more money. but you're gonna have the addition of the voltage of the flight pack. You're also gonna have a Vario. Vario is not really super critical in this application. It's not like you're slope soaring with it, okay?
Right.
I like to reserve these for when I need telemetry, like on a jet, where I'm gonna have a very high power load and I'm gonna have like a dead now, and you just clipped a tree and lost your J11. So I can ignore it then.
Right.
Right before I crash.
Yep.
Okay, or if you want to save like a lot of money, you can do an AR631, $5 less, 630. We have links to all this as well. We'll link to the receiver used, we'll link to the battery we used, and we'll link to the plane, as well as the transmitter that we used, okay? That's all right below in the video description below. If you're watching this as a short or whatever, you can also go to bprc.me. That's our short domain link that's gonna take you to brianphillipsrc.com, same place. Just short, okay? So if you have to type it, BP, Brian Phillips, RC, radiocontrol.me. That's me.
Yep.
Yeah.
That works.
So it's the exact same thing. It's just a short link.
Yep.
So to be clear, if we go with the 631, what was I getting out of here?
I don't know what you were getting out of there.
No, I was seriously getting something, and I'm sorry.
You have to get the staple out of whatever you open?
Yeah,
so
the
side
staple.
cutters?
So that was probably what I was trying to get. I was trying to get side cutters so I can get the staple out, okay? So when you make your decision on this, it's kind of, for me, it's somewhat of a no-brainer because I feel like more of you are probably gonna go with the 631. So that's what I'm gonna lean toward. Now, just full disclosure, you can set this up with the AS3X Plus if you want. It's still the same because basically Airware, the software that drives all the Spectrum stuff that all these devices ride on top of, that run on, the Airware product is the same product.
Right.
Okay, now the other thing too is if you want a pluggable channel for thrust reverse, like if you were to put in, you know, say you got an ESC from Predator that's sitting around, you want to plop it in here so you can do thrust reverse. This is a water plane. Does the ESC have thrust reverse? That's another good question. That's something we don't know.
Is there a yellow wire in there?
I don't see a yellow wire, but that doesn't mean there's not thrust reverse. It just means I don't know how to control it. The other thing is you can put an avian ESC into either of these products and you can run a thrust reverse on a non-pluggable channel. Because keep in mind, you've got a bunch of high-end channels that are above 6 on this. So we can do like the master gains, on-off for other functions, flight modes, things like that. So when we go between safe, AS3X, and off, which we'll set up all 3 on this plane because it's very easy to do. We'll show you how to do it in this Unbox Build Radio setup. Then you can do it that way. The other thing too to consider when you're considering between a 31 or a 630, the 631 or 637T is these are end pins. The 630 is an end pin, just like the 637. The 631 is a top pin, okay? They are spatially aware, meaning that you have to be aware of where that thing's mounted. Now, if you know for a fact you don't want stabilizer, which I don't understand at all, you could use a 620. It's more cheaper. I'm not using that. I want a stabilizer. If you're using a 620 because you're too cheap to get a 631, first of all, there's not a huge difference in price, but there is a difference, okay? I wouldn't say it's because you're trying to be cheap. It's probably because you have an external stabilizer. That's fine. Just keep in mind, if you want to do any other wing types and stuff, it's going to be an extra chore. And I just want to remind you, it's going to be a chore anyway because you've got these wires coming back. You're going to have to reverse engineer which one's signal for this, which one's signal for that, and then split those wires out of the breakout board, then they go straight to the receiver. Not the end of the world. By the way, when you go to separate these wires, if you've never done it before, right here, see this? All you have to do is these are kind of like melted together. All you do is you take your X-Acto knife or just pull them. You figure out which cable it is. You can actually release these by pressing that little tab with the tip of your X-Acto knife, and this will pop right out. Just like that, you can pull it out. Then you can test it on your receiver, blammo whammo, ready to rock and roll. Okay? Remember, the way these servos drive, there is a power, a ground, and a signal. So there's a plus DC, a return pad for current, AKA a ground, a negative, so plus and minus, and then there's gonna be a signal. If you put power to signal, it is a high, a true, and it's not necessarily going to be, because we use pulse width modulation, it's not like it's going to be damaging to it, but I still don't want to stick it on there, okay? Same thing with ground. You probably don't want to reverse the polarity, but generally speaking, I don't think it's going to damage the circuit in most cases, unless you're running a high voltage ESC that has a BEC that's at like 7 or 8 or 10 volts or some crazy thing. Normally we're at about 5 volts at about 3 amps, okay? So you don't have enough power to really smoke it without doing something to it, okay? In most cases. I'm sure you can find a way to short out that, and the way you would do that is you would have the positive and negative of this and the positive and negative of this switched. Fireballs, explosions, everybody dies. Or you burn out the servos and the ESC, or probably more the BEC part of the ESC. Okay, does that make sense? Did I say that right?
Well.
So if you guys are confused, don't do flap-ons. But you can go out here and you can ohm these out, or you can cut this tape. This is just red tape, it'd be easy to undo. You can undo whatever servo cable it is and just do process of elimination, figure out what the first set is, and then figure out what the second set is. There's gonna be one shared wire for ground, I'm assuming. And then there's gonna be a light circuit. So you're probably gonna have like a ground, then you're gonna have a signal 1, a signal 2, and then like a positive, and then I don't know if there's a spare or just another positive or what. But if you think about it, you've got a positive here that's still a positive here, that's still a positive here, that's still a positive here on this bank of LEDs. And then you have a ground, 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 ground that's the same, that's common. Okay, so that's one wire. And then you're gonna have a signal to here and a signal to here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know what the fifth's for. Okay, make sense?
Okay, sure.
So for those of you that don't work on electronics for a living, hopefully I didn't like go over your head. I'm not trying to do that. I just don't believe there's any reason to tear this apart, okay? If you disagree with me, leave it in the comments below, and I'll be flying while you figure that out. Okay, so slipping this out of the package. Ooh, amazing. Spectrum. Okay, so we're just gonna slide this out. Now, full disclosure, if you guys think Spectrum's expensive, go look at a JR receiver. If you think Spectrum's expensive, go look at any of the high-end stuff that's out there, like
Jetty,
high-tech stuff is probably even more expensive. There's, yeah, like every other brand is basically, except for the cheapest stuff. Now, I'm not trying to say that you can't use the cheaper stuff. We've been really happy with Lemon when we've used it. We have nothing bad to say about it. We've actually talked to the engineer that designed the Lemon receivers, and he is a brilliant person. He is extremely smart. I'm not saying these guys aren't, but they have a little bit more brand marketing and budget behind them, okay? That's not to take anything away from how good this is. I love it. That's why we use it all the time, okay? It's very easy to use. Forward programming is second to none. It makes it so dang easy. And if you're thinking of using something else to save a buck, please don't do it, because I'm not gonna help you. I will help you on this because this is easy, effective. It's gonna work every time it's tried, unless you make a big mistake. And if you make a big mistake, go back, watch the video again. You don't have to watch the whole thing, just the radio setup part, okay?
Yeah.
So now we've got all these wires. How do we know where to land them, camera crew?
Well, we've done this a few times, but
How do we know where to land them?
we need to make a profile.
Okay, good. These cables are not necessary up here. So we'll tuck them back in eventually, but for now, we need to be able to figure out where this is gonna mount too. So camera crew, I'm gonna just tip this. Okay, so where are we gonna mount this? We have a spot here, we could easily mount it if it's flat.
Is it wide enough?
Yep, it's perfect.
There you go.
So we're gonna glue it on the side when we're done, and then we'll be able to get to the line plug. The only thing I don't like about it is where it is. If we could put it up here, it'd be nice, but look how impossible that's gonna be to do that. Okay, there's just,
yeah.
I can barely get 3 fingers in there.
Ooh, that's gonna be tight.
2, okay. And it looks like they taped the ESC wires on about like they taped that wire, that one wire.
Got some defective tape.
No, it's just not from FMS. That stuff's awesome. I'm serious, that tape from FMS is so
really
sticky. It's like, it's actually kind of too sticky, it's annoying. But when you're trying to tape something, that's kind of handy actually. All right, so just to answer your question, why don't you put it up there? Because it ain't gonna fit.
And it's not gonna reach.
And I gotta say, this hole is not very big. So if you're looking for complaints about this Pilatus and you think, you know, we're just shields, I hate that. This is such a stupid terminology. Like, who cares? I wanna sell planes. Is there anything wrong with that? Sorry, I didn't think so. There's not, because get this. If I want you to be flying airplanes, I can't give 10,000 people airplanes. Right. If I want manufacturers to make money so they can build more amazing airplanes, I can't just like give that away. We need to support the companies that are doing crazy things like making toy airplanes, for God's sakes, in a regulated industry that they could flip on the turn of a dime, hat, drop of a hat. They could turn on a drop of a hat and say it's illegal for no reason.
Right.
Without zero feedback from nobody. Yep. And they still make them for us because we love them, okay? So yeah, you're darn right.
But I think it depends on why you want to sell a plane. Like, it's not the
We don't want to sell
bestest.
this because it's the fastest, bestest, because we found a guy that wants to sell them, okay?
Right.
We want to sell this to you because, no, I mean, we do kind of want to help that guy, though.
Right. But
obviously,
we want
it's a win-win-win
to be in the hobby.
We try to set up win-win-win. Win-win-win. It's like WWW. World Wide Web? Win-win-win. That's what it is. You win, we win, they win, the hobby wins, China.
Your wife maybe doesn't, but it's okay.
All right, here it is. Do you like right through China in there?
Yeah.
I don't even think this is made in China. I think it's made somewhere.
I don't know. I can't read any of it.
This is made in China. This is eventually going to start.
Eventually.
Cancel back. Scroll all the way down, add new model. Oh, no, not that one. Not that one. Add new model. Create. We could probably move that wing. We don't actually need that wing there the whole time.
Oh.
If it's in your way.
Well,
I'm sorry. I didn't think about that camera crew. I should have been more thoughtful.
You should have.
And nice and better looking.
Yeah. Well.
And smelled better.
You're doing pretty good at those last two things.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. All right, so we're back. You'll notice it took forever. That's because I have a million planes in here. Okay, model select, we just came from there. Model type, it's already set. If you reset that, it's gonna change everything, blow it all up. It's gonna be a million times harder. It's just gonna reset it, no big deal. Model name. This is, yeah, see how it says 218? Lies!
Yeah.
We actually have like 40 on top of that, which means
I wonder if it's gonna run out,
I think we broke airware.
I think so.
Because we're almost out of model memory. We're supposed to have 250. That's supposed to be the max, and we are over that.
I think we are too.
Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna type this in right now. This is the Kavan PC-6 Porter Pilatus.
It's not all gonna fit.
Well, I mean, what parts of it do you want in?
Kavan Pilatus PC-6, if it'll fit.
Okay, so we're gonna type that in. We'll come right back. Stay tuned. All right, so we have the Kavan Pilatus 1.5 meter. I wanted to put the PC-6, but it just doesn't fit. Okay, so we'll hit back, aircraft type. We're gonna set it up as one aileron, one flap with a normal tail. Then we're gonna select an image. I think we have one that's pretty close. Let's see if we have, I know we have like a twin otter or something like that, I thought. Well, a twin otter wouldn't be a, yeah, I think we'll just go back and use that one. It's close enough. Carbon Cub. Flight mode setup. We're going to set it up on switch D. Okay. And then we're going to do the spoken flight mode. This is where we can set up titles or names for the switch conditions. So in this one, we're going to have AS3X. Then we're going to have off. And then we're going to have safe for auto leveling and AS3X. Okay. So this will be off, and this will be AS3X. Right? So flight mode 1, we'll highlight cancel, cancel, clears it, and then I'm going to scroll this in. Remember, this is just this is just a label that's going to display on the screen when you're in the normal screen. So AS3X, so while you're flying, you're going to see that, and anybody who has borrowed a transmitter from a friend to fly their plane will attest to this. They never, ever, ever, ever set this up. So you do it, and then when you hand your transmitter off to somebody, they're going to have to ask you, hey, am I in safe? Am I in AS3X? What am I in right now? Because it'll literally say it. Okay, so way down here, here's AS3X. Okay, then we'll set up off. So we'll highlight, double click, cancel. Cancel twice, clears it. Excuse me, and then I'm gonna go off, OFF. Remember, just a label. Whoops, we need to spell it right. This one's not quite as bad, it's like halfway down. You can also make shortcut menus to find this a little quicker so you don't have to scroll so much. I would highly suggest it if you're doing it yourself and not filming it to help beginners. But remember, if you're a beginner, you're not gonna have the wherewithal to set up a template on this. So we're just gonna help you do it from scratch the first time. The idea being that when you do an unbox build radio setup with Brian Phillips RC, you're gonna have a method to be able to set this up for pretty much any other plane that's a 5-channel setup. So something with fixed gear that's got flaps and ailerons, okay?
Flight mode 3. AS3X mode off. Flight mode 3.
Okay, so now I need to change that to safe. Okay, so we're just about down.
Safe mode off. AS3.
And then every time you flip this in normal mode, it's gonna audibly say what you're in, okay? Channel sign, I wanna use B for flaps, so I'm gonna disassociate aux2 from there. A lot of times I use aux2 for thrust reverse, so I'll like set that to switch G if I was gonna set up thrust reverse. In this case, I'm just gonna disassociate it. Also, I wanna make an association for, since we're not doing channel 5, we don't have gear,
Right.
right? So it looks like these are all tied up already, which is kind of interesting. What I was gonna say is, it's kind of nice to have that association on a channel. So why don't we just set it to D, or instead of D, we can also set that to flight mode. Okay. Now watch this.
Off. Safe mode. AS3X.
Now watch this, go over to monitor. aux2 is moving. aux2 is channel 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you don't have a 7-channel transmitter, Brian, do you? You're darn tootin' I don't. It's a 6-channel, but this thing has way more channels than what it leads on, and that's part of the reason why I like it. Now, also real quick, when we get a close-up going, you can see how it says S plus minus on a silk screen right on the edge where the light is glaring. I'm doing that on purpose. You can see the S plus minus. So that means that signal is up here, your white wire. Negative is in the middle, regardless of what you do. And then ground is over here. So like if you're using Futaba Hextronics, if you're using Futaba right here, you're gonna be black. That's gonna go this way, okay? And if you're using, so you would plug the black would go to the bottom, okay? And the signal would go to the top, okay? I don't even know what that one is, it doesn't matter. If you're using Hextronics JR, that'd be orange, red, and black. Or, I'm sorry, orange, red, and brown.
Yep.
Sorry. So the brown would be like your black. So it's the darkest color, right? So just remember that. And then the lightest color is yellow. And then the middle is orange, right?
I
Or,
think
no,
it's
it's
like
red
yellow,
in the middle.
orange.
Yellow, red, brown. Yeah. Sorry, folks. So now that we have the monitor, we can figure out where to plug things in. But before we do anything else, we're gonna go back and we're gonna set up things like throttle cut for safety, inhibit, set it to switch H by exercising it once you've highlighted it. Now when you move the stick, it's not moving from minus 100. Now I move the stick back and I can fly, okay? So you can see this moving up and down. It's a live rendition of what's going out to the receiver, okay? Then I'm gonna set up dual rates in Expo real quick. I'm gonna associate this to switch F for all 3. This is just a good starting point. You might need a little bit more than 5, so I'm gonna go to 10. That's gonna be our starting point. Then I'm gonna go, if you need even more, I'm gonna bring this in at 20, so it's about double as much, and I'm gonna drop the rates to 90. So this is where we're gonna take off. If we need it to be more touchy, we can go to that, have it. Or if we need it to be more muted, we can go there and double it, okay? Okay, so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll from aileron over to elevator. We're gonna associate this to switch F as well. We're gonna scroll in 5, then we're gonna go to 10, and then we're gonna go to 20. If you guys are brand new to Brian Phillips RC, we do this all the time. It's almost always our starting point. Okay, so you'll notice I'm pretty quick at doing this. You may not be. Don't feel ashamed if you have to put us in half speed or quarter speed. You can do that by clicking on the gear icon. It's usually located in the lower right-hand side. There's like a little ellipsis, like vertical ellipsis, dot, 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 or a gear. Click on that. You can go in and change the playback speed to half, quarter, double, etc. And then all you have to do is watch the video at the pace that makes sense to you. Okay. So this is where we're going to start for the rudder. If we need it more touchy, we need it less touchy. Okay. Now the cool thing is, you're like, well, but what if I only have a problem on my elevator? Well, too bad. Adjust it once you get on the ground. Get to the ground. Now it's more sensitive. Okay. Get to the ground. Make that your middle. Okay. Excuse me. So let's say your elevator was touchy. So you go here, so it's more muted. You get to the ground, what you're going to do is you're going to set this value from 10 to 20. And then that value is going to be 40. And then this value is going to then be 10 instead of 5. So you have a halving and a doubling. You guys see what I'm saying? So you start neutral, you have halve, you have double. Just a very, very basic way to apply these principles of exponential and rate simultaneously. Now, you'll notice we're at 100% most of the time. And then there we drop just to 90. Some people like to do like 70% rates. Some people like to do all sorts of crazy stuff with Expo. We only do crazy stuff with Expo if we have to. Because at the end of the day, we're here to help brand new pilots get in the air. It doesn't need to be perfect. You can make it more perfect to fit your exact taste by making a couple of basis points change here. You can go from 10 to 12. You could go from 10 to 13, whatever. Just kind of set the middle where you want. You can still have that high rate for a little 3D flight. And you can have that low rate for when you're just wanting to relax and do a high-speed pass, okay? I leave it in that all the time, unless I'm doing something weird, right? So now back out of there, we have throttle cut set, we have rate set. We're gonna go down to set flap system. We're gonna set it to switch B, but we're gonna leave everything at 0 right now, except for the speed. We're gonna set that to 2 seconds right now because we can. We don't want the flaps to overdrive and damage themselves, so we leave them at 0. That'd be the neutral position in spectrum. 100 plus, 100 minus. You can set them to 150 plus and 150 minus. But if you're in neutral, more often than not, you're not going to overdrive your servos to crash them and cause damage. That's why we set them to 0, and we set the elevator correction or compensation to 0 as well. We'll eventually set that because this is an inboard flap with a, just a regular elevator. We're going to set that to a positive value. We should see the elevator droop down when the flaps go down. So the flaps are going to go down, and the elevator is going to go down by a factor of like maybe 1 to 10, okay? So what's going to happen is as you apply the flaps, it's going to come out slowly at the same pace, and instead of ballooning like a lot of planes will do when you put the flaps down, you can just keep flying and it'll just slow down because you increase drag and you reduce the stall speed, okay? All right, so, but for now, it's all at 0 because we don't want that set. We don't want to damage stuff. Mixing, we're not messing with. Timer, we're going to set to 5 minutes. We're going to activate it with 25% or greater stick on throttle, that is. At 1 minute, I want a voice. At 20 seconds, I want nothing. At 10 seconds, I want a voice countdown. And expiration, I want tone and vibrate with a tone every minute thereafter. I'm going to hit back. Keep in mind the timer will be visible on the screen. Okay. Now, if you did the 637T, which is a little bit more expensive, you'd be able to scroll over here once you get bound, and you would have a monitor that would show you your voltage. But you have to install that little micro pH connector on here, and it's kind of a pain because you have to pull the pants off of here, and then you have to solder it on, or you have to pierce these and then tape over it, and it just turns into a bit of a pain. I'm having visions of how tight this is, and I'm like, I do not want to deal with that. Okay.
And the 637T is a bigger physical
It's
cabinet.
bigger. It's bigger by the length of the pins. Okay. And it's also bigger by not much. It's literally the pins turned on end because they come out the same on the board and then they make a 90-degree turn. So you gain about that much more depth. Okay. It's very small, but it is not nothing. Camera crew is correct. Now, we know how to land wires now. We know which ports to hook them into. Where do we get that information? We scroll over once with the scrolly wheel, and you can see right there we have throttle. We have throttle. Camera crew, I'm going to move this wing actually, just to get it out of the way. I'm glad we left that out so it would be in the way the rest of the time. That's pretty smart. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna land all the wires before we even worry about cable management. Camera crew's gonna stop yawning.
I know.
Yes, you did. Okay, so that dropped down. All right, so the first one I can see, this says aileron. So I'm just gonna grab ailerons. I don't even care what order it goes in. It says channel 2. So channel 2 is not the second, it's the third set of pins. Negative is down, okay? Negative is away from my belly. If you wanna see better, why don't you go to the other side? Okay? Then the next one I see is elevator. Okay, so elevator is the second set right here. So elevator is gonna be the third. So it's actually the fourth port, if you will, right? So just a little bit of cable management as we go, tangled so far. Now this is the ESC, so this is gonna go to throttle. So channel 1, so it's gonna go right there. And then we have rudder, what do we have next? This is rudder. So rudder is gonna go to channel 1, 2, 3, 4. So channel 4 with the brown is down, the brown is actually up because I'm holding it down. Careful of your antenna. This is coax, it'll break if you're not careful. So this is flaps. So flaps is gonna go down here. We're gonna skip a port, which is gear. Because we aren't using gear right now, so we're just gonna use the 6th channel for that. That's where we have that assigned on aux 1 by default. And then this is gonna be open for a future use. It is a pluggable channel. Also, this is actually the ESC wire. If you ever need to get in there or you want to land that directly to the receiver, just keep in mind you're not going to steal power to run all your lights and stuff through that board, but you'll still steal power through all the rest of it. So like technically it shouldn't matter, okay? All right, now we got to glue this in at some point, but I think I'm going to initiate the receiver, make sure everything turns on before I get it buried in the plane. Plus then we can bind while it's accessible.
Okay.
But as usual, this is the time I start talking about safety. There's 2 things we need to worry about in aircraft, fixed wing aircraft, well, 3, technically the FAA. If you want to be above board, you can fly a remote ID module. There's many ways to do it. There's cheap, there's expensive. In fact, we've got one coming here pretty quick. We're going to review this real cheap. It's like 35 bucks, which is awesome. There's no excuse to not have one in your tool bag, even if you hate vehemently the system, you hate vehemently the government overreaching, you hate vehemently the fact that you can't vote these freaking morons out of office, which we should. Okay, the people at the FAA. Okay? The fact that you don't want to comply. I get it. All these things are true. I don't really care what you do. I just want you to know that there is a method. If you got to remember, the guys that are saying, oh, I'm never going to do that. I get it. I'm not either, except that we are, because we're going to fly legal because we're highly visible, okay? If you're not highly visible, you're flying on a farm, who cares? Just do it. You're not going to get in trouble, at least not on the account of me, okay? But if you fly in a highly regulated area, if you're in some super litigious group of, like super Karen rich area, I'm sorry, you're not there. They are. You got to give people options, okay? So there is the Sky module from Spectrum, which we have links to right now. You buy it, you buy one little battery, you stick it in there. You don't even have to energize it from this, but you can. They come with all the cables, all that crap you need. You get it, you stuff it in there, never worried about it again. I would drop an extension cable here so that you could just plug it into like any spare port. And there's one that says LEDs, there's one that says ESC, there's one that says rudder. You can pretty much plug in any of those. All you're gonna do is you're gonna steal power. Now, with the remote ID module, there's 2 things that happen. Of course, you become visible to the FAA if they're out here like with their local whatever. Doesn't really matter. 2, you can see your geographic location on here. That's one of the biggest reasons why we don't like them, because we don't necessarily want that on the World Wide Web,
Right.
okay? There's a lot of people that hate Brian Phillips RC.
But we do know that some people have used them to find planes that have crashed.
Yes, they have.
So
Like in that tree over
if
there.
you crash your planes a lot,
You could use the GPS coordinates
might
to
want to
find
use
it.
that.
Okay, I'm not doing that either. But
No.
you can also fly in a FRIA. And if you're somewhere overseas and you got to do remote ID, fine, whatever. I don't know. The nanny state's bigger overseas than it is here. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not been the end of the world that we're afraid it was going to be. But honestly, I don't fly drones, okay? And the truth is, like, if you have eyes and you have the internet, you can watch what people do with drones. And I can understand why bureaucrats that want to wrong their populace are concerned about it. Okay? I like this helicopter. the Bell 206. It's so cool.
It's like, where are you going?
I'm sorry, I just saw it from a distance and I had to say that. Okay, if you guys ever want to support Brian Phillips RC and you don't like a Pilatus and you want to buy an F7F like that, or you want a Draco or an SR71, or like an F14 or whatever it is, or a Huey, all you have to do is look no further than bprc.me. That's our short domain that leads you to brianphillipsrc.com. That's the full length. And you can compare and contrast this directly next to the other Kavan. Planes that we've reviewed in the near future, because at the end of the day, we're going to try to do as many as we can because we want you guys to have a basis for comparison. Or you can compare this to an FMS or an E-Flight or whatever it is, or Twisted Hobbies or Extreme Flight or Banggood, whatever it is. We will show everything pretty much once. Right, camera crew?
Yeah, I guess. Hey, in like 15 minutes or 10, we're gonna have to plug in.
Okay, so listen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this thing ready to go, and we talk about safety. So don't cut yourself, it's a big deal, okay? So like I said, batteries, props, and the FAA, and your mom.
I'm not.
Not your mom. Oh. I was talking about their mom. If she said it was time to come in.
Do you know what this flies on, or are you just guessing?
I have no idea, actually. This would probably be a good one to look up in the manual.
I think it's back towards the beginning. I thought I saw it somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, we do actually need to look this up.
Oh, that's motor ESC. Oh, here.
2600 through 3300?
Yeah.
So 2600 through 30 what?
Through 3300.
So 3200 4S 50C, baby.
Okay.
Let's see if we can stick it in the hole.
It's gonna be
gonna suck to load this battery.
Wow.
Okay, so there's a loop in here. Guys, I gotta say, this should have been lined in plastic. There's no excuse for this, because look, I haven't even flown it once. I already got paint coming off. I knew that was gonna happen. And I'm a pretty careful person. Ooh, yeah, she's probably getting stretched out a little bit there. That actually fits. If it fits, it chips. That's what I've been told.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to get this out. Okay, so yeah, it's just wrapped around like that. All right, so that's how we're gonna try to do it, I guess, and we're gonna see where the CG is at some point. So maybe that. Then this, now that we've kind of got things situated, I can try to feed this back through. Good Lord, this is gonna suck to load this battery. Guys, I gotta say, this is something we talk about with every plane we get. If it's hard to load the battery, you're less likely to fly it. I just want to be full disclosure. We're not trying to beat anybody up. So far, this plane has been a glorious experience, except for one massive, huge, terrible experience, which was the wing clips, okay? The wing clips will, full disclosure, get easier with time, 100% guaranteed. I'm not just blowing smoke because I want you to buy this plane, although I would like you to buy this plane and help support us. Buy it from the links if you're gonna buy it. If you buy it anywhere else, it's not gonna support us, and they're not gonna think we did any good for them, okay? So help us out, please. That being said, we can plug this in now. I don't trust props until I trust props, so I can't point this at me until I trust it. I don't trust it yet, so I have to point it this way. I don't wanna be separated from this. If the prop would take off, I don't think it's gonna take off. It's not bound, throttle cuts on, throttle sticks down. This is gonna be laid down next to me. I'm gonna make sure I have control of the plane. Then I'm gonna plug it in, okay? I don't want anything to get sucked in. This is not gonna get sucked in. These are the things I do. Without saying them, you won't know what I'm doing, and that's part of the reason why I'm manifesting all these thoughts verbally so you can hear, okay? So that's what a good demonstrative speech should look like. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this in. As you can see, the IC3 or the EC3 or IC3 will fit. Press the bind button. We don't care about the position yet. I'm gonna click here, I'm gonna scroll down, I'm gonna go to bind. You can also turn it on whilst pressing and holding that. Bind, I have my hands controlling the plane. Binding DSMX 22 milliseconds, telemetry. Waiting for the startup, verifying we're not gonna have anything like crazy prop startup. Okay, first things first, before I trust this thing, I'm gonna shut off the throttle cut. First of all, it's going the right way, throttle cut's on and tested. Okay, I can now trust the plane. So at this point, we can de-energize the plane so we can finish our assembly, okay? Except not, because here's what I need to do. I need to verify the direction of the surfaces that I can test. Okay, I can trust this now. It's bound. Elevator, it's not even hooked up. Rudder is hooked up. Doesn't matter what direction it goes, it just matters it's working. Okay, it is working. Yep, it is working. Everything's fine there. It's all accessible, so I can adjust it out there. The elevator, it's moving, just take my word for it. We can't test the ailerons yet. Throttle cuts on and tested, so we should be safe to install the wing, okay? Camera crew was just mentioning earlier that we're running out of battery life. My apologies in advance for when that happens. We might have to change the way we're filming for a few minutes. Camera crew is gonna go to the other side for a minute. I'm gonna put some China glue on here. Now, you're probably thinking just use some double-sided tape. Yeah, we've done that for years. Nothing wrong with it either. But I'm just gonna put a little smear of this on here. We have just found that the China glue works great for this. There's really no reason to do it any other way. We've never had an issue with vibration or feedback. Some people say that you need to put like double-sided tape with like a foam core in it. Maybe on some planes, but we've never had a problem doing this, okay? We're not gonna tell you something that we're not willing to do. I'm spreading the China glue right there where the sun don't shine, okay? You can see that? Mm-hmm. Then I'm gonna spread this where the sun don't shine, just like that. I'm gonna let it sit for just a minute. And basically during this minute, we should be done gluing, I think, right, camera crew?
Well, no, because we have to glue those antennas on at the end.
Good point. Thank you for catching that. Very good idea. So at this point, if you knew for sure you're gonna put these antennas in, you could put a little bit of glue, like the extra that you have. And to be honest with you, it might be kind of nice to just go real light on the glue so that these are easier to take out if you ever change your mind. I'm gonna lay it on top of a plastic bag. And the reason I say is because the other trick that I've done on antennas like this, that sometimes are the first thing to break when you're transporting your aircraft, is I will sometimes take tape and I will wrap tape around so that it just basically opens up and bites the hole a little bit tighter, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I was just waiting for commentary. Didn't happen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So now we need to plug in the wing, but we gotta wait for this glue to dry so we can set this. Keep in mind you have an antenna. There's only one. You don't have to. It's called flyby telemetry. So it's not gonna have as long a range on the telemetry. When you get the AR637, you're gonna have two antennas. You wanna have those like this, diversity. So 90 degrees of each other. It doesn't care what position you're in this way. You just need to be 90 degrees of each other, okay? So this is gonna go in here and stick into that. It's not quite tacky enough because you see it just peels off the whole chunk, okay? You can tell. This is why I like this stuff. Rubs off your fingers, it's gone. I don't even have to worry about it. If that was CA, it'd be a huge mess. Huge, okay? Let's check this real quick. Yeah, totally solid, rock solid. Give him a shot from underneath there. Is there a bunch of glue pooping out while we wait for that glue to set?
No.
There isn't?
Underneath here?
Here.
Oh, yeah, a little bit in the front, I guess.
See how it's not coming off? So what I like to do is when there's a little bit of glue, I'll try to peel it off, but it will also have a propensity to take off the paint. So you have to weigh your options if you want to do that or not, okay? So I think this is probably good enough. Remember, it's gonna be trapped, so I won't know if it pops off. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick this down into the big, vast reaches of the emptiness, okay? Then I'm gonna stick this down in here and it's gonna fit like a champ. Look at that, beautiful. Nice. Good fit. The only thing I don't like about that is if I was careful, nope, there's no way in heck you're ever gonna get to it, to hit the bind button.
No.
But the other thing you could do is if you know where the bind button's gonna be, you can also poke and make a bind button access point that you could use to pierce this foam and you could get into it and hit that bind button again. Because I don't want to disassemble this freaking thing.
But why do you need to hit the bind button again?
If I get like an NX20.
Oh.
So anyway, the camera crew just asked a dumb question, so I gave her a smart answer.
Do you have a plan for something you're waiting for?
I'm just saying, you know there's going to be another transmitter, like in the very near future for us.
True.
Okay, so look at this board as best you can. Plug here, plug there. There's keys on these plugs. There's only one way to plug these in.
Okay.
So I'm going to plug one in here, and it's obvious one goes to one wing, one goes to the other. It's
take his word for it.
You're not going to be able to see it.
No.
Okay, so once this is plugged in, okay, so that was my alarm going off for my timer. Okay. Once this is in, there's a couple things you can do. You're going to twist this Or you can like seriously pay attention to where this is. I need to be right. I'm gonna make like a mark with my fingernail. Okay, just a small mark. I'm gonna tuck this in very carefully so that I don't get that pinched between the foam and the foam. See that? Right, like that. Drop down perfectly. Absolutely easiest thing ever. Drop this in. Drop this in, okay? And so then I have to get this toolkit out that I already put away earlier because I was being dumb. And I gotta say, that plane is beautiful.
It really is.
Love the look of this plane. This is funny because the Pilatus PC-6 would have been a plane when I first started flying RC that I would have thought is kind of like ugly or weird looking.
Yeah.
And I have grown to where I have a huge appreciation for this, in particular, this plane.
Specifically this
Specifically,
plane?
this is one of the planes. There was another plane that I really didn't like too, and I'm trying to think of what it is right now. Which, by the way, guys, I cannot believe how nice this is going together here and how terrible it went together on the wing struts. It's like unbelievable how good this is going and yet how bad that is.
I'm telling you, those pins are always a huge pain.
I think what happens is the manufacturers don't think that the OD of those pins makes a difference. And then we have some like German manufacturer making a plane or something that's super, super, super tight tolerances.
Yeah.
And they're like way tighter tolerances than that pin manufacturer can hold up to.
Which we have to put those back in again. So we can't forget that.
Okay. I'm gonna just ram this in the hole. Which way does this go?
No, in the middle hole. No, wait, where does it go?
Look at the picture over there, please. Can you just tell the people how wrong you were?
Sorry, I was wrong. Happens once.
See? That's literally how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I'm not wrong, am
No,
I?
that's right.
Okay, so now the other thing is, and I wasn't just joking about this, guys. I know there's gonna be another receiver in my short near future. So in my application,
You're not really gonna do that, are you?
just pay attention. Look, I already know where I'm going with it. It's not that big a deal. Okay, look, that's where I'm gonna go. I may already have a hole. There's quite literally, what?
Okay.
What? What are you so worried about? It's,
I'm gonna put a
you act
hole
like I
in
haven't
the
done this
brand new
before.
plane.
Have you really, do you really not trust me? Do you not trust me, camera crew?
I just don't think it's necessary.
Well, sorry that you don't feel that way. I do. You guys see this? Okay. So that's the hole, and you'll notice that it's gonna go through. The only issue is I don't know the exact position and angle that this has to be, and so I'm gonna quite literally make this happening right now. You don't have to do this step, and I fully understand that this is a weirdity that's specific to my desire to be able to bind this by reaching down and hitting the bind plug. But you're not the only one that's gonna be doing this, Brian, and you know it. There's gonna be somebody who needs help. And so I just wanna show you guys how I'm doing this so that you can understand. This is what we do on Brian Phillips RC. We selflessly film ourselves making fools of ourselves so that you don't have to. Okay, film yourself making fools of yourself.
I don't do that.
Camera crew films me.
Oh, I film you making fun of yourself.
So once we get this released, then I can show you where this came out because I don't think I'm hitting it. I'm close. Just relax, it's not damaged. Okay, rotate it up. Oops. Maybe I didn't get it far enough. How are we doing on percentages, can you tell?
We're getting close to 5%, so we're gonna have to.
Okay, when it happens to 5, is that where we gotta like stop?
Yeah.
And then like plug in stuff? Okay, so now you can see this. Oh, shoot balls. There was a plastic thing under there. See?
Oh.
Dang
It
it.
like went right in the servo
No.
Or the
I didn't go into
channel.
servo. That's just a
cover.
little cover, guys. So what I gotta do is I gotta go back here. My apologies, me. I have to go here, all the way through the center, where I'm not hitting the cables, and I'm not. If I wanna do this, I gotta do it right, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and I'm gonna hit an angle that's gonna get me down there, okay? Very carefully, I'm just gonna spin this. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take, instead of a flat screwdriver, I don't know why I picked a flat screwdriver, I'm gonna use a Phillips, okay? Why Phillips? Because Phillips is gonna have that tip that's gonna allow us to get through. And I'm just trying not to cut any cabling, which I'm certain I'm not because I'm out of the alignment with the cable. Okay, now I'm out. You guys see it coming out? You guys see it coming out? Oh yeah, I think that's gonna be really darn close to what I need. Okay, so now I can pull this out, drop this wing back in. Okay, so now that it's down and we know that it's in approximate position, listen. Oh man, it's a little bit less exact than I wanted it to be.
Is that it?
Pretty sure I'm touching it. Gosh, it's really hard to tell. Okay, pause, we'll find it. All right, so we're trying something new. We're plugged into the power as we go. The bind push button, I made an angle mark on this. This is on tape. There's tape right here, it's clear. I can stick this in. Okay. Oops. And when I get into the right angle, Mike. Okay. Now you know it worked. Okay. It's not perfect and it's not as nice as you might want it to be, but it's going to work for what we're doing. Okay. I just know that we're almost out of model memory, so we're going to have a new transmitter.
Yeah.
This is a brand new plane. I want to fly it. Okay, so that all being said, now that we know that that's lined up, don't make your hole here. And by the way, you're never gonna know that that hole's there except that I filmed it, okay? So just keep in mind when and if you do that, you need to be mindful of the fact that there are a few cables that pass through. Obviously we don't have any issues or we would have shared that. But we were just switching because our batteries were dying on the camera. And so hopefully we've got this new charging cable that allows us to film while we're using our Rode wireless mics, and we have to use Rode wireless mics. Did you take yours off?
No, that's on.
Okay. So basically the camera crew also has a mic. I have a mic. It's two subjects. We switched to that some time ago because people complained for like, I don't know, 4 years that our audio was terrible, and then I get cold still.
Right.
You're welcome.
But those plug in via USB-C, and my phone also charges that way. So
Yep. And believe it or not, even though it's universal serial bus, there is a pin on a USB-C cable that has to be tied high or low depending on if you're charging from the host or if you're discharging to the host or vice versa. I don't know. It's very confusing stuff. I don't care. I just got this little thing for like $8 and it works.
Yep.
So it makes me smile, although I can see all sorts of cables coming off the camera.
It's ridiculous right now. But.
So, all right, getting back to the point, it's done. The plane is built. We're not set up all the way because we have a few things we need to do. First of all, the plane is off. For safety, I'm clearing my timer. My throttle cut's on, throttle stick is down. I'm gonna take this 3200 4S and I'm gonna put it aside for now. In fact, I'm gonna plug it into my S2200 charger. I'm gonna show you how hard it is to charge this battery. Let the charger turn on, slide down this thing, stick it in the hole. It's gonna charge, which is really nice. And in the meantime, I'm gonna grab a 2200 4S, which to be honest with you, I think is a better fit for this plane, but we're gonna see how CG. We're gonna have to test the CG in mere moments.
With both?
No, we're gonna test it with 3200.
Oh, okay.
Because 3200 4S is what it's calling. This is on the bigger side, but we'll see how it does. So we've got this long strap and don't really have a great way to get in there. Normally I would put shelf liner in here, but I'm just like honestly not sure how that's gonna work either, because I think the way that they expect us to do this is to somehow like magically fish this thing through.
Where is the strap going to?
It's strapped to itself.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna see if I can like stick it to itself. I don't know. This is a really bad design right here. For the echelon of plane that this plane belongs in, for price point and everything, I feel like that's, I don't want to say it's like a huge embarrassing failure. Not quite as bad as the straps on the wings, which incidentally we never put on before we get the battery in. Let's go ahead and put these on.
Okay.
We've already done it once, sort of, kind of, maybe. And so we're gonna see if we can get this without as big a fight. And I'm fully prepared to let off strings of obscenities off camera. Just so you know, you won't need to protect your virgin ears, I promise. Because if we say something terrible, we'll pause.
Okay.
Okay? But it's just awkward and really, if it worked the way it was supposed to work, it would be pretty easy. Okay? And that was like a million times easier. And you're probably like, what were you complaining about, Brian? Well, we already reamed the hole.
You saw it the first time. Go
Watch,
back
guys,
an
look.
hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly. So now this is obviously a bit problematic for two reasons. One, it's a weird angle, and two, I have to kind of lift up the wing or bend this. Okay, so I'm gonna bend this. You guys see what I'm talking about? No, just stay there, camera crew, you're fine. This is gonna force the wing into a tension. It's gonna force this strut into tension, which is a kind of a weird condition to be in my opinion. That's also gonna force this so it doesn't come out, which is nice. Because remember that came out because the glue was failed?
Right, it's pushing it into the plane now.
So, oh, in. I just don't understand why this step is so difficult. And I gotta say, I'd rather just have put a screw in it. It would have been a million times easier than this clip. This clip sucks.
Do they use them because it's a quick release, quote unquote, or toolless?
I don't care.
Except you're using a tool.
It's not toolless if it doesn't work.
Right.
And, you know, call me crazy, but if it's this difficult, there's gonna be a lot of people that accidentally damage things. So I guess of all the stupid reasons, I'm not gonna like disqualify a plane or something in my mind over one detail like this, but man, this is very frustrating.
Well, and hopefully once you get them in, you
They'll be
aren't
fine.
gonna have to take them out, hopefully.
No, they'll be fine after you do it once. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's why this is so infuriating, because it's just such a stupid, like you're gonna do it once and it'll be fine. Okay, I'm switching. I'm gonna come back to that. Camera crew is gonna tell me, she's gonna remind me to come back to that, right?
Okay. Yes.
So in this case, I wanna have success. This is a mental block, so I'm gonna come back to it. Sometimes you gotta do that. I'm just going to the other side. The other side, of course, is gonna be over here. The camera crew is gonna do her best to bring the camera to a position that can film this, because after all, it is now attached. If you guys didn't know this, we film on a Galaxy S21 Ultra, which is a cell phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. We started our channel on a Galaxy S3, then we went to an S5, and then we went to an S7, shortly followed by an S9, and then there's like nowhere to hold on to this freaking thing now. Gosh, it's so annoying. Because I'm just like having visions of just destroying this thing, putting a huge hole in the plane.
Yeah.
And, gosh, of all the things that could be wrong with the plane, this is such a minor detail, and yet it's so frustrating, guys. When you get yours because you realize how awesome it is, you're gonna understand my plight. Because you're gonna be like, that is such a sweet plane. Why did they not come up with a better system for this? Good Lord. And the battery's gonna suck too, I can already tell. Okay, I'm getting another clip because mental block time. See how I'm holding this? I need to have it like that so that I can press it through. I don't even have that all the way in, just full disclosure. I honestly, guys, I could be doing something wrong, but I don't think I am. I mean, it's like really pretty simple stuff. It's just not simple because it's not easy to hold on to the wing. Okay, that one went in pretty darn easy, and it's in, and it's perfect.
Good.
And I don't see any issues with that now. So now this one is gonna be difficult for whatever reason. It's decided it's going to be difficult. Camera crew, are you seeing anything I could do different?
There was one when we did it earlier that you went from the back to the front and it went through significantly easier. There it goes.
Done. In.
Great.
Okay, so now guys, I just want you, I don't want you guys to think that I'm whiny on this. I am whiny because I'm trying to communicate a frustration that's very real. I am, you know, a realist. I understand this is not the end of the world. But I want you guys to understand just how frustrating this has been. And I don't think it's necessary for this step to be so dang frustrating. And so that's why I'm annoyed. It's not the fact that it is, in fact, difficult. It's the fact that this is such a gorgeous, amazing plane that's going to end up being undermined by a clip, for God's sake. Oh, that just hurts my soul because I really care about this hobby and I want people to have a good experience. But goodness gracious, there's going to be somebody, oh, got it. There's going to be somebody that gets on this comment section and says, hey, I got arthritis. I'm not fighting that thing.
Right.
Seriously, you with arthritis, I'm talking to you. Get your buddy, give him $50, take him to a steak dinner, have him ream it first. I'm serious. They'll be easy the second time.
Yeah. But
not easy the first time.
it also speaks to the overall quality of the plane when our biggest complaint is putting in the clips.
Yeah, but it was a pretty big complaint.
But that was a pretty, yeah, that was pretty nice.
And the other thing too is we haven't even got to the battery yet, which
I know, it looks tight.
I'm a little I'm cringed out already. And I'm just nervous because normally I would have a 30-second step of taking some Velcro off, putting a piece of anti-slip shelf liner in there, and then we'd be golden. I don't think that's the way this is going to go. So, battery. We already trust the plane, throttle cuts on, verifying it. This is one of those planes where you're going to be up in here making love to the prop, okay? So you got to be careful. You got to do what you can do to protect yourself. But you also got to get the freaking battery in, so here we go. Now, you could also use a voltage, you could use an adapter and make that a lot easier. Okay. Waiting, trusting, okay, good. So now that that's plugged in, by the way, my ESC is kicked like this sideways. And frankly, the battery is going to be trapped in here pretty good is the only reason why this is tolerable. But I'm still just like not a big fan of having batteries flim-flamming around. Okay, it makes me nervous. I have crashed planes because batteries come out. I just watched somebody do that the other day.
Yep.
Model Aviator just did it. Mm-hmm. His name is Adam. He's a nice guy. We're not super close friends, but we talk. And that's something too, I was just going to point out. When you do RC influencing, you get into this like weird group of people. There's not very many of us that actually do it on the level that we're doing it. And we're very, very fortunate to be in the position we're in. I love this hobby. I want to see it succeed. That's going to block this from going in. Okay.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
So what I have to do is I have to try to turn it. Now, this is both good and bad because if it's hard to get the battery in, that means that we're probably going to be trapped with the battery. But if it's hard to get the battery in, it's going to be hard to get the battery in. I can already tell this is going to be a pain in the butt.
Hard to get it out too.
Because look, how in the frick am I supposed to get that in there? Like, did they not think about putting a battery in?
And hopefully the CG is...
You know, you're going to be in my way when I lift this up in
I know
30
I am.
seconds.
I'm attached to the wall.
Okay. So guys, for those of you that have been at work for the last 14 hours with me, you understand at the end of a long day, you don't want to have to fight putting a battery in a hole, okay? So there's the battery. I don't like using forceps on batteries because it's not generally couth to do that.
Couth?
Couth. It's a word, look it up.
I know it's a word.
Do you want to look it up for the
I'm
people?
just not sure what's the right usage of it.
Well, what do you think is the right usage
Well, I
of
would have
couth?
said kosher.
No,
All I
kosher.
can think of is uncouth.
It wouldn't be couth.
Well, I suppose.
It wouldn't be. If words like couth turn you off, then you'll want to check out the sailors. They'll get you taken care of. Hot glue and all. I'm sorry, Nate. I repent. But seriously, though, look. I just talked to Nate yesterday. Mm-hmm. Stick it in. Stick it in. Their extra didn't come in time.
Where's it
FedEx
going?
lost it.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them. It's too bad. That is kind of a big deal for us influencers, guys.
Yeah.
So anyway, not their fault, but still I'd be pissed too. So let's release a video about a competitive plane. Mm-hmm. Good idea. That doesn't look like petty at all. It's all right. It's all part of the show. Get back there. This is so frustrating, guys. I can turn it, but these carbon fibers are so strong, I can't put it sideways. Okay? And they're calling out 2600 to 3300.
So we can't even use the 2200.
No, the
I mean,
2200 would be fine, but still, I just think I want to try to stay as close to spec as possible.
Right.
That doesn't mean we won't deviate at some point. Okay, so I'm sticking that Velcro down. This is kind of a ridiculous battery install. Because you got to remember, we got to do this like out in the driveway at some point.
Right.
You know, or wherever it is we're flying. Can you imagine if this is a water plane? At least it's on top, but goodness gracious. This is pretty bad, guys. I gotta say. Cram it in. And then guess what holds it down?
A little teeny tiny magnet.
A teeny tiny magnet. Can you just run the throttle up, please, real quick? Just do it. This is pretty frustrating. This plane is so good.
I know. It's...
Why? Such a stupid problem to have, people. Okay, now some of you are screaming at the TV. You're like, Brian, put it in the other way. I just want to show this one more time. The ESC has a length of wire about this long, and it's pulled sideways. I could probably push the ESC and pull it through, but that's not going to make any better for this, okay? And you see I've already lost a bunch of black paint by just doing that. Oh, that is so hard on the lead, though. Look at this, guys.
Yeah,
I can't get it in, okay? I mean, it's a great problem to have, but see, I'm just trying to get it to tip. If I could get it to tip, I'd be golden. And guess what I'm hitting?
I don't think it's going to tip.
My ESC leads. Oh, for God's sake. Guys, when you're designing planes, please design them with a battery in mind. I promise you I'm putting a battery in it.
Yeah, I'm just going to look at it.
Oh, this is so frustrating. Okay, guys, I'm just going to take a minute and say there's probably another way. I have not figured it out. I may not figure it out. I'm probably just going to cheat and put this in here and be done with it. But I'm like, how in the heck am I going to trust that cover is going to stay on there? Because now I've got ESC leads that are under there, the motor leads rather. I wonder if I can try to pivot the battery the other way. You suppose I can get it to drop? Nope, I can't. It just won't fit.
And how are you going to get it out if you can?
Yeah, once I pivot it, how the heck am I going to get it out of there?
Yeah.
That is a very good point too. Okay, so look. I'm going to stick this down here and see if I can get it to purchase on the Velcro, which I really kind of can't. There's definitely something I'm doing wrong. So I'm not sure what to do, but that's the way it's going to be. All right, I don't do this very often, but I'm doing it today.
Okay. What are we doing?
I'm going into the drawer to take some foam out.
Oh.
I haven't done a wedge style battery holster for a long time. I'm going to teach you something new today. Hopefully it's new and you'll never have to do it again. This is one of the most half-assed things. If you're this deep in the video, you're probably frustrated with me. This is one of the most half-assed ways to hold a battery in that you can do, and it works every time it's tried. Cram that son of a gun in there. Okay?
Perfect.
Holds the battery. Watch. I'm going to demonstrate. This is energized. Crash 1, crash 2, crash 3. I'm trying to get it out. Crash 4.
Perfect.
Half-assed. Imperfect.
But works.
Okay, guys. Now that your virgin ears have been pierced. I was just saying before our battery died that your virgin ears were pierced. We're going to put this on. But before we do that, let's talk about what I did off camera. Briefly, while we were charging, I marked this for a 3200 4S right there, okay? This is the little squishy thing that we stuck in there. That's a chunk of foam from another plane. When this slides out, it will release the battery. It also pushes down the strap. Just leave it there. I colored the edges black where the black paint came off. That's pretty disappointing. And then I'm going to slide this in. This is no longer required to hold in the battery, but it does kind of have this propensity to want to feel like it's going to pop off. If that continues, what I'll do is I'll actually tape around this all the way around 360 degrees so that it's a little bit more of a pressure fit. Because I'm not sure I'm totally sold on that. This is trapped, okay? We already tested that, okay? So it's on. All right, guys? So now, Couple things we need to do. We need to mark the CG. So I did mark the CG off camera. I'll show you exactly what I did to mark it. It's just gonna be super fast this time before we continue, and then I'll show you the test for the CG. CG, center of gravity, very important. If you're brand new to the hobby, you gotta check for CG. Make sure that it matches what the manual says. I also looked through the manual. I'm just gonna show you the highlights, okay? I read this thing while I was waiting for the batteries to charge. Pretty exciting stuff. Here's the stuff if you wanna set it up to their spec. We're not gonna do that. Here's the ESC programming guide. You can pause it and you can see how to do that. If you want, there is no thrust reverse. We wanted to validate that. That's on page 5, okay? Also, if you're ever looking for a manual, follow the link like you're gonna buy it, check the price, see if you want it. There should be links to manuals right there. There is a pinout for the wing plugs right here. So you can look at this, X being lifted up, X being the ground. Pause the screen if you need to see that. Pause the screen if you need to see that, and you can do that without having to tear into your model, okay? The CG is right here, 56 through 60, so it's a tight tolerance. Options are sold separately for floats. We already knew that, and then it just continues into the other languages. So what I do is I use micrometers, or well, what are these things called?
Calipers.
Calipers, sorry. So I go to 56. Okay. If you're real anal retentive, you can lock it. I'm not gonna lock it because we're just gonna do this. I make a pierce point here in the middle of this throw, so I'm off of this red thing because I knew I was gonna go from red to white. This makes it easier to see. I press it into the foam. I literally make a dent in it. Then I go to 60, like this. Okay, something like this. And then I do the same. Right from the leading edge, I measure, poke it. Once it's poked, I follow it up with a felt tip marker, just like this. As you can see, I kind of ream it in the hole. Why do I care? Because then I can feel that with my fingertips. And I'm just gonna show you that the 3200 4S gets us a reasonable outcome. Keep in mind, smart batteries tend to be a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller than some other competitive offerings, unless they're really small and they're just made by Spectrum. It's kind of weird because there are certain dimensions that are bigger, lengthwise, because that's where the smart chip is. So now that we have this marked, we have all the parts installed, we have the battery installed, we can go ahead and put our fingers on the holes that we've created or the bump points that we've created. And I'm gonna hold my finger so I can feel those two holes. Okay, this one I kind of lost. Okay, I can feel the front hole. From the front hole, we're about perfect. From the back hole, we're just slightly nose heavy. I can live with that for a maiden. I don't want to go like crazy tail heavy or crazy nose heavy when I'm starting a flight, okay? So now that we're done with that, we have to jump into elevator assembly. So elevator is not hooked up, as you know. There is nothing in the manual about where to put the hole.
Oh.
Not that I found.
So you can pick your hole?
Huh?
You can pick your hole then?
I guess. So what we have to do now is we have to stick this into the output here, wherever it lines up. It looks like they have it lined up here because it's already drilled out. So I'm gonna slide it in there. I'm gonna poke it through and then just rotate it around. I wanna have plenty of elevator authority. I'm a little bit disappointed in the amount of output on the rudder from the box, but you can see there's not that much movement, but we're gonna be good enough for what we're doing. So we're just gonna leave it elevator. Looks like there's a lot of throws, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the outside most hole, which is gonna give us the minimum control range. I want this to be neutral, so what I wanna do is have the camera crew go to the end and show you right here. There's a line. Is that the center?
Yes.
Does that look about right? Mm-hmm. It's pretty dang centered, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then from this side over here, you're gonna take, and once this is installed in there, with your neutral sticks and centered trims, that's gonna line up right there. And it, like, I don't even have to turn this out. Not even 1/2, that's crazy. Slide back this little O-ring thingy and then open that. Looks like it pulled it down a little bit, didn't it? So I'm gonna actually undo this.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So now I'm gonna actually screw this in one turn, 1/2 turn, and see if we're better. So guys, if you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC, we go through every step. That's part of our commitment to you guys in the Unbox Build radio setups. We don't always do 100% of the steps. We try our best. Sometimes we lose battery. That's pointed down still. Is it?
It's like level on my level line on my camera.
Really? Mm-hmm. This side, oh, okay, whatever. I'm gonna call it level. So it's pressed in. We've got a little bit of a trim we can use. So now I need a 1.5 millimeter on this. We don't even care what direction things are going yet. We just wanna make sure they move. So elevator, moving. Okay, good. Rudder, moving. But this has to be square and true to this. And it looks like it is right now, okay, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Full disclosure, off camera, I adjusted it by like 1 degree. It's just turn it until it's straight.
Okay.
If it turns out it's not straight, you'll know when you're taxiing, and you won't really know until you're taxiing. Okay, now that all that's done, we're gonna flip the plane over, we're gonna do radio setup and finish that. Now normally, we don't commingle the radio setup and the build any more than we have to get the job done because it can confuse people. That's not to say it's gonna confuse you, but that's part of the reason why we do this right here is to help people that need help. So don't feel ashamed. If you have questions, ask them. We'll try our best to help you. First things first, camera crew is gonna stay where she is as much as she can. Elevator up, okay, that's wrong. Rudder, that's wrong. Ailerons, that's right, that's right. Flaps aren't set. Okay, so servo setup, travel, reverse. Elevator, elevator up, elevator down. That's correct. Rudder, reverse. Y'all left, y'all right. What I'm saying is I would like this to move more. I'm about 99.9% sure I want that to move more. I'm very tempted to just move it. What do you think?
So you just changed the whole position?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like
doesn't
very much.
seem like very much.
They had it set up though already.
Okay, we're gonna leave it this time only, okay? Roll left, roll right. Elevator up, elevator down. Y'all left, y'all right. That just does not seem like enough.
I mean, you can move it.
Okay, we're gonna move it. So we're gonna slide this back. We're gonna lift this up, pop that free, and see if when we go to the middle, if that changes the position. And it does look like it walked it over just a hair. So because it walked it over just a hair, guess what we get to do? We get to spin it in half a turn, probably 1 full turn. We'll see how we look. Okay, now keep in mind, you go to the inside most hole, you're gonna have a lot of movement. That was pretty dang close, maybe another half a turn. In. Did I go the right way? Seems like I did. Did I?
I think so.
Okay, so then all I'm doing is I'm just sighting down the top of it. It's kind of hard for the camera crew to show, but you're looking for, you gotta really get that perfect or it's not gonna work. You guys see what I'm talking about? If it's not perfect, you're gonna tell. It's kind of hard to show that on camera. You just have to take my word for it. Slide this back, but don't touch it. Now the rudder movement. Does it seem like it moves anymore?
Not much.
That's crazy. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get real aggressive now. Okay, pull this down in this case. Just depends on whether you ended on the top or the bottom with that little shaft that goes through. Shaft! Okay, and then once we're done with this, we're gonna do forward programming. Should be pretty straightforward process, guys. We've done it so many times, it's easy for us, but we know that a lot of you guys need some help. That did not move any further. I don't understand, that is so weird. There's something about the geometry on this that's just making it not move more, and that is so unusual. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in the middle and just throw caution to the wind because we're as close as we're gonna need to be.
It just, like, the arm doesn't move very much in the...
Yeah, there's just not that much movement. And the rudder doesn't move much either. I think when you're rolling, it's gonna move more. Okay, so a few things real quick. We gotta still set up flaps. Flaps are not gonna matter for forward programming, just full disclosure. That elevator is pointed down. That elevator is pointed down, right? Or is that just in my head? Also, this thing moves too much. So watch, I need to take 1.5 millimeters. See how that goes up and down? I don't like that at all. I want it to move not at all, but I don't want it to be tight so that it binds, okay? So I'm just gonna pull that down just a hair, barely at all, torque that pretty tight, Oh yeah, she's still free. But now it's not gonna play up and down, okay?
Okay.
Then second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna center the elevator. You see how it's definitely pointed down just a little bit. Definitely just a little. Okay, so now I'm gonna pop this off. That means if it's pointed down, I need to extend this out. So 3 fingers pushing tight, spin it around half, spin it around 1, okay? So that's 1 full turn, make sure it's square. And then I wanna go to the bottom hole is what we're doing, right? Mm-hmm. That looks square. So I don't know why I listened to your commentary there on that, because I could have sworn it was like not quite right to my eye. I'm a pretty picky person. Just ask my wife, she'll tell
I have
you.
a level line on my screen.
Elevator up, elevator down. Okay, yaw left, yaw right. Roll left, roll right. Okay, good. So all those are working. Now let's go to flap system. We can see that we're gonna be minus or plus. So that's the wrong way. We wanna go the other way. Excuse me. Wanna go this way. So the negative brings it up to the home position. So minus 100 didn't quite park them. We've seen that before on some other brands. Okay, so that's our takeoff setting. And then our landing setting, we want to go a little bit more. Want to make sure we're not overdriving too bad. So I'm going to flip this up. Oh yeah, we're not overdriving at all. I don't think. Ooh, it stops moving. Okay, so I'm going to go, whoa, why is that one stopped? See that? It stopped.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
What the heck? Why is it stopped? Okay, so we're gonna do one other thing real quick. Look at this. That's gonna be a very big problem in flight. Takeoff flaps, landing flaps. It moves a lot further. I think we're in a different position, so whatever we're gonna do is gonna be, I'm gonna back this off until they both move. Okay, so 40. So then this one, I'm bringing it up, minus 30. Remember, this is just based on the neutral setup. So now I'm in my regular flight mode and I'm gonna go to flap. It's highlighted that because depending on what position you're in, it's gonna highlight what you're adjusting. Okay, now I'm gonna highlight, whoops, dang it. I'm gonna scroll this until it goes up flush. Wow, that was a nice jump. So there's 40% more. See how it's nice and neutral? It's flush. There's takeoff flaps. There's landing flaps. And I wanna make sure that the deployment is about even because otherwise it's gonna roll your airplane and it looks like this side's down further. So because of that, that's not an okay thing. That means they've got a different servo in there potentially. They're both moving. Mm-hmm. What the heck? Let's just go 35. Okay, so takeoff flaps, landing flaps. I don't like that at all. It looks like that one side is not quite the same. So let's see what takeoff flaps looks like if we go. You see what I'm seeing or am I crazy?
Yeah, no, I see what you're seeing.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
Well, no.
Takeoff flaps, landing flaps. This one's deploying further. What the heck? This I don't like fixing, guys. This pisses me off. This is something that could crash your plane, and I don't like that. That is not cool. Should not have to fix this. Especially not at this price point, folks. Trying to wiggle the servo. Okay, whatever. Okay, we're just gonna leave it because we're close. That is ridiculous. This one stopped short. I'm gonna clear that to 0, okay? Takeoff flaps. This one's not moving as far. Mm-mm. What the heck? You see that? Can you show them so they can see?
Yeah.
So that lever, that's all the way at the end of the control arm. This one is all the way at the control arm as well. The motor is this way, the output's that way. they're laid in there the same position, so they should not be changing at a different rate. It looks like they're in about the same position, but they're not quite. They're close, but not quite. That is like, that means the only thing I can think is you got two different styles of servos, or they have one. Look, this one that's on a spline position is different. See, that's got about a 1/4 inch there. And this one's got about, you know, double as much. So that means this linkage needs to come out and that needs to move. Oh, geez, that's so annoying. What else would cause that? It's in the same output position though. The geometry just isn't right. Look. See this? See how that's hitting the foam for one thing? Does this one hit the foam? This one is hitting the foam too. So I'm pushing it into the foam to see what happens. Nothing. Takeoff flaps, landing flaps. I don't know if it could be something else. No. Now I'm scrolling this in more. I'm going all the way down to 100, okay? I'm gonna just help them along. I wonder if the foam pinch hinge has not worked as much on this one.
It'd be the other side that you're
Yeah, you're right.
concerned about.
You're right, hun. Thank you for catching my mistake. Okay, so full landing flaps. You hear that?
Yeah.
Now they're even.
Was it just
I don't know.
caught somewhere?
Maybe.
It's still not going down as far.
No, it's because it's getting caught.
Yeah.
Full landing flaps. Okay, all the way up. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to high speed setting instead of going, normally we would run this, okay? And then take off flaps. I wanna just, before I dig into this any further, I'm gonna do like -30, okay? So you're -100, then you're gonna be full deployment, and I'm gonna change this to fast again. See that? Looks pretty even to me. Is it something about going slower that it doesn't like? That is incredibly different. Okay, I'm gonna go to really slow. Oh, that's way too slow. See how it says 14 seconds? Normally I run 2 seconds. Let's do 1 second and see what it looks like. Takeoff flaps, landing flaps. See how it just jumped to home position? It just jumped to its position. So I don't know if you guys are seeing and hearing that, but I am. And I'm not crazy about the fact that that servo is doing that. But it seems to be going to the position. Snap to it, bud. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna go to fast acting. You see it? It jumped that time again.
Yep, you can hear it.
There it goes. It's in home position. It's in its correct position now. So there's something definitely not quite kosher on there. So if we get a roll when we deploy flaps, we're gonna know that during our flight, okay? But at any rate, we're gonna continue. We're just gonna pretend like this is not a problem until we figure out it is a problem. So far we've got a couple of problems with this plane. So this, we're gonna exaggerate, go way overboard. It's the right direction. That's the only reason we do that, is we wanna see this go down, okay? Now I can set this to a more conservative value. Let's do 8 and 12. Okay, so as the flaps deploy, this is gonna go down over here. As the flaps deploy, this is gonna pivot. Down and down more. Okay, very good. So that's at a 2-second rate. So we're 100 gets us to the home position, but we've overdriven it by like another 40%. You guys remember? And we know that only from just guess and check until we got the right position that we liked. Now in full deployment, you may want more. In fact, see how it's jumping on that side now?
The other side didn't change at all.
That's right. But watch this. I'm gonna go 30% over. Now watch this. Now it's there.
It's
You guys see what's going on there? We got a bad servo.
yeah.
There's something wrong with it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and set this. I'm gonna set that back to 100. We'll hope for the best, okay? I'm not trying to beat up Kavan here, but I'm gonna tell you something, guys. For as much as this thing cost, that servo ought to be working perfect, okay? Period, right? You should not have nearly as much problems as you do putting those stupid clips on. That was ridiculous. Third, battery should not be complicated to load. It should be very easy. It should be well thought. If it's a tight spot, they should give you a holster, okay? All right, moving along. We got to get forward programming set up because everything is going elevator up, elevator down, yaw left, yaw right, roll left, roll right, takeoff flaps, landing flaps, all that set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click, we're going to scroll down to forward programming. This is going to be gyro settings, first time setup. Make sure the model's blah, 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 blah. Everything's set. It is. Now set it on its nose. This is just going to differentiate between its absolute position. Why are you so far back? Then I'm going to hit continue. It's going to tell where the receiver is, and that's where the receiver is relative to the position of the plane. If that picks the wrong position, try it again or just set it manually. You can set it manually. But if you remember right, we glued our receiver in here like that. And that's the way it shows it. So we can hit continue. That's orientation 8. Gain channel is set, is going to be switch D, so highlight this, and then you can scroll down to either F mode, or you could do D, but we didn't set it to D, we set it to flight mode. Okay, now we're going to apply, it's going to reboot, prepare yourself to secure the plane, just in case something goes horribly wrong. It shouldn't, throttle cut is on, we saw one dance, that means that AS3X is activated, okay? So it's ready. Jump back into forward programming, gyro settings, AS3X settings. I'm going to turn this to 4X so we can see everything we're doing really easy. Then I'm going to go to F mode setup. It's already been set. But you see it's not changing. So you have to set this here like that. See how it's changing? Now you know it's working. In this mode, I want AS3X active. In this mode, I want it off. In this mode, I want it also active, okay? Then I'm gonna go to system setup, excuse me. I'm gonna go to first time safe setup. Flight mode, it's already been set. It populated automatically. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue. Now, this is where you need to make it so it can be in a flying position. I usually, like, I'll grab a pillow or I'll put it up on a plane stand. In this case, pillow it is. Remember, this is the attitude you want the plane to actually fly in. So you got to get a little bit creative sometimes to get that angle exactly right. That looks pretty close. I'm thinking I might go a little bit more aggressive, so I got to fold the pillow in half. That's going to be too much, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need just a little bit more.
I know. How about the caliper case? That would probably do it. Okay, how we looking now? Pretty good. So that's pretty true and level. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to just slide this forward just a hair. I feel like we need more. So let's go up a little bit more, the manual worth. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, so now level model and capture attitude. See the pitch correction? See the pitch correction? I usually do it a couple of times. So now if you were to have this down on the ground, if you turn safe on, your plane would try to fly like that. It would look stupid and it would gain altitude all the time. Okay, so now I'm gonna scroll to next. I'm gonna go, we'll set this all up. I can lay this down now. It should be no problem. We'll just kind of throw that out of the way. Okay, so what we want to do is safe mode. We want to be in this mode. So I'm gonna, instead of inhibit, I'm gonna do self level and angle demand. I'm gonna open up these ranges for pitch up and pitch down to like 60. I wanna be able to pitch up and pitch down, but I still want it to have self level. I want safe off in this mode, safe off in this mode. Remember, it's just the one we said earlier. The switch in this case is flight modes. All of a sudden, our audio event and our visual feedback apply. It's gonna reboot, watch for 2 dances. 1 dance, 2 dances. That's safe as active. Click. Now, this is already done. Throttle cut's on. Secure the plane, test your throttle cut. Throttle cut's been tested. Elevator up, elevator down. Roll left, roll right. Yaw left, yaw right. But you're like, wait, that's not very much movement, is it? It's because you're in safe. Out of safe, also in AS3X now, okay? Off. Look at this, off.
AS3X off. Safe.
You hear her? Okay, so in safe, throttle cuts on. Safe will work without a throttle pulse, okay? Safe is currently on. Throttle cut is on. Plane is upside down. It's attempting to find the quickest route to level. You can tell because the ailerons actuate. By the way, I don't know if I talked about the flashing lights. Very cool and beautiful LEDs. Same thing here. Elevator goes up, trying to bring the nose level. Elevator goes down, trying to bring the nose level. Okay, make sense? So those are the 2 axes of control that safe is going to be manifesting itself on. Now, AS3X is not working. This is our gain channel. We haven't set it. We need to set that. So I'm going to click. I'm going to scroll down to forward programming. I'm going to go to gyro settings, AS3X settings, fixed adjustable, adjustable. Okay. System setup. Gain channel apply. Aux 2, nope. Aux 3, Aux 3, Aux 3, I exercise it each time. Okay, we're not gonna change that, so we're gonna leave that. We're gonna go out. Now, when I turn this knob, I should see lots of correction, but there is none because we're in safe or AS3X. How come? Because we haven't given throttle. Throttle cuts off. Oh, that's a lot of power. Throttle cuts on. Now it's moving. Off. You hear it shut up? On. Gains all the way up. Gains all the way down. Gains halfway. Off. Safe. It's back on. On. You guys see that? So gains all the way up. Now we can test the direction of travel. When I move this, it needs to go that way to resist. And it does. Now back toward me, this should resist by coming toward me. And it does. Can you see it? Okay. Now elevator, same thing. When I lift this up, it should go up to correct and offset it. Up, down, up, down. You hear me yelling it out, up, down, not yelling, but calling it out, up, down, up, down, up, down. Aileron 1, up, down, up, down. Can you see it? Up, down, okay? Now over here, notwithstanding environmental impact, down, up, down. Can you see it? Up, down. Now I'm gonna check yaw again. Yaw left, yaw right. I can see it plain as day. Are you sure you can see it?
Yes.
You're not just being nice, like you can actually see it, okay? Elevator up, elevator down. Now, no safe, but we have everything else, okay? So just listening. Lots of correction until we turn it off. Safe, same thing, but we also add in the auto leveling function, okay? So, still working, still working, still working, but also auto leveling. So we've now tested all the control surfaces on this plane. We have set up flaps with safe on, takeoff flaps, landing flaps, everything is working with the exception of the servo is questionable, okay? Off, immediately turns it off. AS3X immediately works. Master gain can be set back to 1x or one time, that'd be 2x. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into servo setup, or forward programming rather. I'm gonna jump into gyro setting. Now that we're done testing AS3X settings, I can take 4x and put it back to 1x. Why 1x? Because it's very rare that I need more than 1x. There was a plane the other day, the F-35, we set it to 2x. And that plane sucked anyway, so no big deal.
Didn't really matter. Yeah.
Okay, this plane is ready to fly. Elevator's working. Rudder and ailerons are both working. Roll left, roll right. Yaw left, yaw right. Steerable tailwheel is working. Throttle cuts off. That is a ton of power.
Jeez.
Holy crap,
That's
that thing's gonna
crazy.
be nuts.
Yeah.
So this thing might be a 3D capable plane. I can tell you right now, that's a lot more power than I expected out of it.
Yeah.
We had a reasonably good time building this. It wasn't hard to build with the exception of the stupid pins, which really pissed us off. With the exception of that and the fact that we have a servo that might be bad, we're gonna find out if it is bad in flight. If we're flying and it rolls to the right, that's what we expect to happen. With flaps deployed, you're gonna see a roll, a slow roll, because this one's gonna deploy more than that one, which is gonna induce the roll. We'll know that, but the servo feedback potentiometer might actually resist better under heavy loading, AKA flight.
Oh.
Because under flying, you're gonna have this, you're gonna have pressure there, and it's gonna work out great, and everybody is gonna love it, and this plane is gonna be amazing. You're gonna want one, by the way, give them a shot from back here. Those are bright LEDs.
Yeah, they are. They're very bright.
They're small, they're bright, they're delectable. These are big, less bright LEDs. A little weird they went with that choice. These LEDs are better, they are flashing. There are 2 LED lines that go out to the LEDs. Full disclosure, if those lines, one of them is flashing and one of them is not, I don't know. This controller board might be doing it, controlling the flash and the solid, and this might be the other LED.
Oh.
Okay? There's a common X, which indicates ground almost certainly. I don't know that for a fact. I'm making an assumption based on the technical drawings that I saw. You can go back, you can pause the video. You don't have to take apart that 4S connector and disseminate which one's which. All right, so at the end of the day, the Pilatus PC-6 Porter from Kavan.
Kevin.
Kevin.
I don't know.
Kevin. Calvin.
We're just gonna call him Kevin now.
Come on, Kevin.
Let's go.
This thing is absolutely beautiful.
It is.
It's kind of like this. When women are beautiful, men put up with a lot of crap. And so when planes are beautiful, people put up with a lot of crap. And I'm serious, it's, you know, we are easily fooled, this human condition we have. We have not squishy tires, but we have sort of an, you know, spring-loaded suspension here that doesn't have any sort of, you know, hinge here, so you're gonna like break the plastic anyway. Questionable design choice. Not very much throw on the rudder. I don't quite understand that. The takeoff flaps are good, but the landing flaps, you're gonna get failure to full deployment, which means you probably have a servo with an issue. That's not necessarily gonna manifest itself in your plane, but the limited travel on the steerable tailwheel is going to be manifesting itself wholly in your situation. Also, these stupid clips are probably better pre-drilled with a drill bit, okay? Truthfully. That's what I would suggest. 1.3 millimeters is what we used for our drive. So if you used a 1.3 millimeter and you got like a really long extension, you could reach from beyond this sort of conical shape, and that would allow you to do it. Remember, you can do it on the wing easy. That's not a problem. It's just the fuse, because you can't get a chuck in close to this body because it widens up. Okay. So with respect to all that, I also noticed a little toe out on the landing gear. That could be devastating to the performance on the ground. Do you see the toe out?
Oh, yes, I do now.
That's gonna suck. So it's gonna wanna jank, 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 and it's gonna pull the plane, believe it or not. If you have a toe out, it's almost always a problem. Toe in or even is what I recommend. I might be able to adjust it, but I doubt it. I'm not even gonna try. We're gonna fly it and see what happens. Just like we're gonna fly it and see what happens here. Okay. Also, I have that bind plug or bind. If you wanted to, you could also run a cable up here, but it's so dang tight. I don't think you're gonna want that. If you know you have to rebind right away, you can still use a bind plug instead of a bind button. Since our battery's about to die, I hope I covered all the hot topic items. FPV build.
So, fpvbuilds.com.
Check it out, guys. We got links in the video description below. Follow our links if you're going there, okay? Otherwise, they won't know we sent you. We'd like to get credit if you decide to buy this. It will help to fund our channel, just like every other plane we've ever done. We don't want you to buy something just because it's the latest, greatest, and some dude is selling it, okay? But we do want you to buy it if you like the plane. I can tell you this, the airframe feels strong, it feels sturdy, it feels relatively light on its feet, it feels well built. There are some nuances I'm not crazy about, and we beat them hard. So the truth is, if you want the best experience, watch somebody like me that's gonna tear them a new one for every little thing, and then your expectations are gonna be set when you get one, and you'll come up with a game plan on how you wanna deal with those things.
Yep.
Or live with the consequences of fastest, bestest, cheapest. Haha, ours didn't get here in the mail, so we're gonna do a competitive product to spite them. Okay, whatever. We have an Arrows 542, guys. It's fine, it's a great plane. Nothing wrong with it. Edge 330, great, it's fine, nothing wrong with it. Extra 330, fine, nothing wrong with it. The old one that it replaced, the Extra 300, fine, there's nothing wrong with it, okay? It might not be right for you right now. That's why you watch us instead of the competitors, okay? The competitors are great people, they're nice, they do a good job on what they do, okay? But we feel like we hit a different niche. We're hitting a niche of people that are trying to make the right decision at the right time for the right reasons, not just, hey, this guy runs a business and he wants to sell a thing. We love planes. We love people that do planes for a living. We want to help those people. That's what we're doing here. But full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. I'm Brian Phillips, RC, not Shillville, like everybody else. Not everybody else, but a vast majority of everybody else that you're seeing right now. Here on YouTube, they want shorts. They want something people can watch where they poo. And we try to provide that too. But we take from our long format content where people are straight up making toilet wine in the federal penitentiary or the Polk County Pokey. All right, that's all you get for today. We appreciate you being part of our little experiment here in RC. Calvin.
I like Kevin.
Kevin?
Kevin. I think it's
Kevin.
You said it so many
Kevin.
No, yeah, I think it's Kevin.
Kavan.
No, it's not that.
We always, and then everybody always makes fun of us for saying stuff wrong.
Yeah.
We're trendsetters. Okay, Calvin. Get it right, Calvin. But I gotta say, I'm already in love with the way this thing looks. I've already forgotten how terrible it was to build because of 4 clips. Are you freaking kidding me? 1 servo and maybe a little bit less travel than I want on the tail wheel. That's called splitting hairs, folks. When you got a good plane, you're gonna split hairs on Brian Phillips RC because I'm expecting near perfection. We've had a couple of planes that are pretty darn easy to build. That Cessna 150 or 182 was pretty dang easy to build and it came in a very small box. You know, some of these manufacturers are cranking them out with no problems, but then that company has other problems. So the truth is everybody's gonna have a little bit here and there. We're being hard on this one for a reason. We were asked to be hard on it and we are. Hopefully you liked it. So guys, at the end of the day, you wanna help support us, the best thing you can do is buy planes that we promote on this channel. And when we promote on this channel, that's kind of bad terminology. We're really not promoting a plane versus another plane. We just want you to get a plane, get flying. Do it today. There's a beer truck right around the corner waiting to take you out. There's a hand injury waiting to take you out. There's diabetes, there's bad vision, there's family issues, there's moving, there's money issues. All these things can stop you from the hobby. When you get them worked out, come back to the hobby. We'll help you get up to speed. If you're just coming back to the hobby, welcome. If you're brand new to the hobby, welcome. Just remember, don't wait. Because if you wait, it's not gonna be any easier in 6 months. It might be cheaper, you might have better circumstances, but 6 months down the toilet, okay? Start living. Start living today. We'll help you get there. NX10, a lot of the steps you saw, if you're brand new to the hobby, might seem overwhelming. Don't worry, it's not. Once you've done it 2 or 3 times, you won't even need our videos and you'll still come back because you want to hear about the toilet wine jokes.
We're gonna lose.
All right, guys, that's all you get. Brian Phillips RC signing out. Oh, other ways to support us quick. Brian Phillips RC. Go there, compare planes. YouTube super thanks, one-time donations. Patreon, monthly support. YouTube super thanks, one-time donations. Excuse me. YouTube members, monthly support. And then PayPal. Friends and family. Remember, we are friends and family here on Brian Phillips RC. And if you're not one of our friends and family and you hear my voice disconnecting from reality, that's because you're brand new. So don't forget to click the bell for notifications. We put out new content all the time, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, sometimes 6 if we're really crazy. We got a whole stack of boxes in there, and it's gonna be palpable the amount of catch up we have to do to get through that stack of boxes. And we want you here with us all the way along the way. And remember, the next one that comes out of the box might be the one you fall in love with, and it might not be. But we're here to serve you, and we want you guys to get the best out of this RC habit and addiction. Because if your wife is gonna be pissed off about something, we might as well make it worthwhile. So stay tuned, so much more right around the corner. I'm Brian Phillips RC. Thanks for watching. Come back for more.